Greetings, Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Maverick News Channel. Hello, Maverick family. Great to have everybody here. Hang on a second here. Our guest for the night is in the back room, and he's there. You're not live yet. You're just in the back room, but Ian is going to join us. We need his help because we need our Quebec connection to help us navigate through tonight's topic, which is United States invades Canada. We're going to war game this thing out. We're going to look at what other people have done to war game this thing out. It is not an entirely new subject. People have worried about this for a long time on the Canadian side, and I think some people have salivated over the prospect on the U.S. side for a long time. I think the last time somebody tried something like invading Canada, a certain house colored or painted white got burned. And we laugh about that today. And I was talking to my dad. We went shopping. And he wanted to go to Walmart. I said, okay. So off we went to Walmart. An American-owned, super-duper heavy-duty mega corporation which has invested heavily in Canada and has created a lot of jobs. It's become a staple in the retail landscape. But off we went to Walmart. We're shopping. I could, the prices. I don't know. Where you're supposed to, what was it? Pay less, live better, whatever their slogan is. And I saw a dozen a 12-pack of Pepsi for $15.97. And I said, no freaking way. Then I needed some food for Cosmo. So we went down the pet food aisle. And I was going to buy some Purina. Oh my God. Something popping up on my news feed here. It's directly related to what we're talking about here. So I was going to buy some Purina dog food, and the price was making me gag. I don't know what the dog food's like. But I was like, I put it in the cart. We got all the way to the cash register after we were looking for some other stuff. And I think to be fair, I think this Walmart is the worst one in Canada. Here in London, at the south end of the city, it's always a mess. It's never orderly. They never seem to have good inventory, but I digress. And I knew that this dog food was made in the United States. And I've been buying food at Giant Tiger, which Cosmo normally doesn't eat. But since I've been here, I've just been buying this Giant Tiger brand dog food, but it's made in Canada. That's why I bought it to begin with. And he likes it. He just sucks it up like a vacuum cleaner. And so we got all the way to the cash register, and I said, Dad, I can't do it. I'm not buying this American dog food. Putting it back. So I pulled it out of the cart, and I marched all the way back to the pet food aisle, and I put that sucker back. and then I ran back to the cash, and he had already made his way through with the stuff that he wanted for the day, which wasn't very much at all. He didn't get much. It was more just about the timeout. And I said, we're going to Giant Tiger, a Canadian-owned store, and they have their own brand of dog food, and it is made in Canada. And it's less money. So I bought it there. Because Donald Trump wants to take over our country. That's what it comes down to. And I'm like, no, with all the tariffs and everything, I think maybe I'll support Canada today. And so I did that. And then actually I picked up a few other groceries for my parents while I was in there, making that quick stop at the Canadian-owned Giant Tiger, where the prices were better than they were at Walmart for some of the same products, actually, not just alternative brands like the Giant Tiger brands and so on. No, they're cheaper on many things, less expensive, not cheaper, less expensive. And nothing against Walmart, just saying. I'm worried, and rightly so. But then later, but this is before we're going to get to Ian in a minute. Ian's going to join us. Then we were having dinner just a short time ago, and I didn't say anything to him about Trump and the saber rattling. And he talks about Trump a little bit when he sees it on the news. He's in his 90s, right? And he doesn't like what he's seeing at all. And I'm like, I know. It's unbelievable. I never thought he'd be like this, but there it is. But when I talked about the United States maybe invading Canada, he was like, he laughed, and he still thinks it's a joke of some kind, or that it'll never happen. And I was like, no, Dad, I think it's it's really happening. But he just watches, some TV news, and he's just lived through a lifetime of great relations between Canada and the United States. So he just can't even fathom it. But I talked to him about it. He's always been aware of the United States being a warring nation. He's been around long enough to see plenty of that. But still, loves the U.S. I love the United States. And we don't want that because we love our neighbor. And Trump has turned into a maniac. So tonight, we're going to deal with the uncomfortable subject, which is a very real threat of the United States invading Canada. We're going to war game it out. We're going to use artificial intelligence to conduct the simulated invasion. Ian's going to assist with that on his end. He's going to give a Quebec perspective. I will give an English Canada perspective, or at least an Eastern in Canada English perspective. We don't have anybody from Alberta here, but we might open the phone lines to allow you guys to weigh in on this. And we won't just do that. We're also going to look at some of the other material that's available online where this has been war gamed out by military experts, political scientists, think tanks, and armchair quarterbacks who have war gamed this scenario out as well and have made videos about it. So we'll dig into some of that to get different perspectives on it, and we'll see how broad the conclusions are. What I have been seeing in my preliminary research, which continues tonight with you guys, is this would not go down the way most people expect at all. It was really surprising to me to read what I read. And I'm going to share all that with you tonight. Ian's going to help me share all that with you tonight when we come back on the other side of this.
Greetings, brave mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, free speech. Donate. at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Okay, let's bring him in. French Donald Trump. Hello, Mr. Ian Rising
What's
Dragon
up, guys?
from Montreal.
How are you?
Quebec connection.
Hope you're doing good.
I'm doing pretty good tonight. Yeah, a little bit worried, as you know, but what the heck, eh? Let's see if I can.
It's part of life of today, being worried and probably terrorized to a certain degree, but I digress.
Terrorized. There's a word. Yeah.
I feel terrorized sometime about that because, well, you know, it's a new culture coming home or not.
Yeah, terrorized. There's a word for sure. So, my God. So you heard my little intro there, talking with my dad. So I had that conversation with him, and of course, it's a reality check for me too, right? It's like, am I just being paranoid? Am I blowing this up in my own mind? And so I'm checking that, but then I come down to my mom's basement and the high dollar technical temporary Maverick News World headquarters in my mom's basement because I'm here helping to take care of my dad after his hip operation. Anyway, I come down here, and what do I come across? Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I think it's right here.
Well, first, I had a question for you when you were recounting your story about Walmart. Nobody with a holster on his hips yet?
No, I didn't see any of that in there.
Okay, good.
Let me see here. Okay, so this article, I came across this. Look at this. This is from the Independent. So I'm sitting there thinking, maybe I am just paranoid. Maybe it isn't such a big deal. But then this. Bring this up on the screen. Can you see that? There it is. Okay.
Yep.
Trump is reportedly turning his attention to Canada and focusing on its vulnerability. And I'm like, oh my God, Rick, you're not crazy. I wish I were crazy, but I'm not. Here it is right here, The Hill. Oh no, that's this is the Independent. So let me just scroll down. Trump reportedly turning his attention to Canada and focusing on his vulnerability. All right, let's play a little bit of the video. Okay. Because, of course, he's going after Greenland, and now they're saying he's focusing on Canada again. Can you hear that?
Yep.
This is Denmark, or Greenland. It's low. Audio's low.
I can hear.
Mm-hmm. No sound. Yeah, no sound on the video. It's okay. So that was Greenland. Yeah, there's something wrong with the audio on these videos. But so So thank you for letting me know. I come back here. Okay, we're going to stop that. Here's the article, though. Okay, this is the relevance to Canada. President Donald Trump is reportedly turning his attention to Canada and becoming fixated on the country's vulnerability to foreign adversaries. This is the same argument he's using to take over Greenland. In recent weeks, Trump has griped that the Arctic reaches of the Great White North are exposed to Chinese and Russian encroachment. Multiple unnamed officials told NBC News. U.S. officials are now reportedly looking into coordinating with Ottawa to strengthen Canada's northern border. Trump is really worried about the U.S. continuing to drift in the Western Hemisphere and is focused on this, one official told the outlet. Trump's recent focus on Canada follows a whirlwind first year in office marked by bold unilateral moves to extend U.S. influence across the Western Hemisphere, often through thinly veiled military threats, an approach he has branded the Dunroe Doctrine. Earlier this month, the 79-year-old president directed a surprise military strike on Venezuela that resulted in the capture of leader Nicolas Maduro, who is now in federal custody facing drug charges. Trump has also issued stark warnings of U.S. intervention in Cuba, Colombia, and Mexico, while repeatedly voicing interest in acquiring Greenland, a Danish territory, and has not taken the use of military force off the table, triggering deep concern among America's allies. Yeah, they're moving. NATO countries are sending troops there. And my dad said to me, oh, they're going there because they're worried about Russia. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not worried about Russia. They're worried about the United States. That's what this is all about. That's why Trump turned around and is saying he's going to slap tariffs on all the countries that are sending troops there. And that's because it's not that. China and Russia have not threatened to take over Greenland. One country has, only one that I'm aware of, the United States. Trump claims that no external constraints, not even international law, bind him on the global stage. Now listen to this carefully. He says, and this was a few days ago, when asked by the New York Times this month what limits he faces, he said, quote, there is one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop me. So in my mind, that means Trump thinks there's nothing that can stop him. He thinks he is invincible.
Yeah.
If
He's the almighty.
Oh my God, that doesn't scare you?
I will say it scared me because to me it's reminiscence of 1930s, and I'll be honest with you.
So I'm sorry, but this is real. Like, I'm sorry that I have to be the one to tell people. And I'm just a tiny little voice over here in the cyber universe, trying to reach out to the real world and warn people that this is a real threat. Make no mistake. He's never been joking. From day one, I said, I don't know if he's really joking. I don't think he's joking. Through all of this, the Lieutenant Rogers SOS campaign, the Tucker Carlson, call to Justin Trudeau when he was coming to Canada saying, we're coming to liberate your people. Because I don't think he's joking. I can go on and on and on. And now it's very clear that it's true. This is a real thing. It's happening. Am I paranoid, Dragon, or do you share my fear?
I think I share your fear, and you're truly not paranoid at all. Things are looking very grim for Canada at this moment. So I would say that, well, brace yourself, guys, because we're in for another fight after COVID. So it's another fight. Now it's our sovereignty that is under the line. So.
Yeah. Just going to look in the chat here for a moment. What do you guys think? You guys share these concerns?
Yeah, a lot of people will say something about China and why Carney caved to China. I will tell you why. Because this is a middle finger to the U.S., basically. This is a way to say to the U.S. that we're not bending the knees to them, and we can find ourselves some other competitors or other trade partners. Plain simple.
Yeah, I think the deal that they made there is worth about $1 trillion. So that's got to have, I'm sure that makes Trump jealous. And the larger question is, will the United States actually allow this? That which makes me, I should find a clip of Bannon. I'm going to do that and share that with people, which you may not be able to hear because I can't run it through the system there. I have to find out what I've got wrong in the settings so we can share videos in there, but it's not set up that way. So I'll make it work. Let me see here.
Yeah, well, Trump did say that he did hate every country who does partnership with China because it's basically making them come in the back door of his country in what's, well, concerning to his neighbor like Canada. So
okay, I'm gonna run this clip, which you won't be able to hear, and I have to take you off the screen to do it for the viewers. I don't know if you can see the live feed on Rumble or YouTube, but you'll be able to hear it there on the live feed. I can't run it through the phone system because of something. Don't know why, but we'll get you the clip here. So Ian, I'll just paraphrase what this is going to be about. It's Steve Bannon, who of course has been a Trump advisor. He's sort of on the outside, but he knows everything going on. And he says Canada is in the vital national security interest of the United States. This is inextricably linked to hemispheric defense. This is exactly what I told you was coming down. I've been talking about this for at least 2 years. Hemispheric defense for the United States starts in Canada. Canada is rapidly changing. These people are hostile, he says, to the United States of America, not neutral. They're hostile to the United States of America. Let me play this clip. This kind of rhetoric scares the living you-know-what out of me. Because this is a guy who has Trump's ear. Here we go on Real Voice of America.
Is that when you talk about the Arctic North, which used to be Canada's Great Barrier, it's now their biggest exposure. This is why I say they could be the next Ukraine. There you have two Slavic entities fighting over the Russian-speaking eastern border. It's turned into a major war, a destructive war. But it's not in the vital national security interests of the United States. Canada's north, you just heard about the Northwest Passage, which is right on top of their territorial. If the Chinese Communist Party either one works out some agreement to have basing rights or some sort of exercise rights there, or just decides that Canada can't defend it because the president of China came in 2010 and gave a speech. He had a state visit to Canada. And in the middle of that, I think he gave a speech where he said, hey, we're an Arctic power too. And they were looking around going, China's an Arctic power? What do they mean by that? He was targeting Canada. And that is in the vital, Canada is in the vital national security interest of the United States. Some of our forefathers thought that too, both in the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, et cetera, where we invaded Canada a couple of times in the French and Indian War, which was all about Canada, right? American troops, as part of the British Empire, fought with General Wolfe and others. So Canada has been always kind of a linchpin for American security. Now, with advanced technology, it's even a bigger in the Northwest Passage. It's even a bigger in what we're doing in Greenland. I mean, this is inextricably linked to hemispheric defense. Hemispheric defense for the United States starts in Canada. Carney, and there are people worse than Carney there. You're seeing a shift in Canada right now. And this is why I think Alberta and this succession movement, they're sitting there going, it's not just about economics. It's not about tax policy. Canada is rapidly changing. 25% of Canada's, you just heard Tomlinson say, 25% of Canada's population is foreign born. 25%. Right now, Canada is rapidly changing. And I'm going to tell you, if you look at the Parliament, if you look at some of these papers, you look at the discussion on TV there, Brian Kennedy, these people are hostile to the United States of America, not neutral. They're hostile to the United States of America, sir.
Ian?
Yep.
Are we hostile to the United States of America? Is Canada hostile to the United? What the hell is that?
One, do we have the army to counter the American if we go head to
We're
head.
we're gonna find out tonight when we run this simulation. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, go ahead.
No, actually, you make a point, but the thing is that I don't think we have the might as a military force to go against head to head. I mean, even if America or the US is alone against us, we probably are just too small for that. It's going to end up like Ukraine.
Interesting point you make. It is like Ukraine. I've been saying that too. Even the Freedom Convoy resembled in many ways the Maidan protests, where protesters were shot. Didn't get to that level in Canada, but it's not at that level now in the United States, where I think you're on the verge of a civil war, where people are literally being shot in the streets, protesters, political protesters, whether you agree with them or not, shot in the streets with live ammunition. 11 people shot so far as I know, maybe more by now. One person shot in the face. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I see people up here who claim to be freedom fighters, I think, who are a little confused. This is my view. And they don't seem to have any concern about that. It's like they're all for it. They're cheering for it. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I get it.
Have you heard about the story? I think it was from yesterday about Jake Lang, which is a 6th January
J6 protester. Yeah.
Yeah. And he got stabbed by because he was doing basically a pro-ICE protest of his own, and basically got mobbed by anti-ICE guys.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's right.
Yeah.
He actually was like one of the key organizers of that protest. Was mobbed. We showed the video here yesterday of that. Did you see what happened though to him? He got into a car with some people who were going to take him to the hospital. And guess what happened? They got partway there and kicked him out because that's how bad things have become in the United States. So the people who were taking Jake Lang to hospital didn't know who he was when he got in their vehicle. They were going to save him, but then when they found out who he was, they kicked him out because they don't like his politics. Here's, I've got the clip actually. So it was a trans person who gave Lang a ride while he was bleeding, apparently stabbed. He organized the protest that they were at. It wasn't a huge protest, but there was enough of a crowd there that the mob grabbed him, the counter protesters to his protest, grabbed him, pulled him into the crowd. He was assaulted, apparently stabbed. He gets in this car driven by one of the people from the counter protest, 2 of the people from the counter protest in that vehicle. They had a taillight broken. The mob started to attack that car. They're driving him away. And once they found out who he was, they told him to get out of the car immediately. So I have the clip of them talking about it afterward. I'm going to run this. Are you able to watch any of this on the live feed on Rumble or not?
Actually, I do have the live feed there. So
okay, so I have to take you off the screen again so our viewers can actually see this and hear it. And this is terrible. Like, everybody's wrong here. I think nobody's behaving well. Everybody's behaving badly. Lives are actually on the line, and we get this from here's the driver and one of her friends, his friends, whatever, in the car.
Okay, TikTok. We're gonna make. Oh wait, can you turn the heat down really fast? Okay, hopefully this works and it doesn't cut up again. So, my name is Day. This is my friend Aaliyah.
Hello.
This feels so weird to do this really
like
fast.
that would be ugly.
Yeah, so let me give y'all the rundown on what just happened to us in case we do go viral or whatever the case is. We were driving, we're on our way to Tom's Watch Bar, right? We want to have some cocktails, little girl day, whatever. We see this crowd of protesters outside of a hotel, and obviously we are anti-ICE. Like, what the fuck is what? All this shit that's going on is such bullshit. I'm low-key scared for our country, and it sucks that it's starting in Minnesota, but like, I do not support that. They're bullying. They are bad people. They're ripping apart families. Don't fuck with it. This guy, still don't even know his full name. Jake is all I know. And apparently,
he's a horrible freaking person.
The horrible people that apparently, I'm sure a lot of you guys do know about, but I had never heard of him. We see him run up to our car, and he's like, "Can I please get in? Can I please get in? Like, they hurt me so bad." Da 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 da. That's all the context we have. So in our heads, it's like, oh my god, like, was he just attacked by ICE? Like,
we
he
thought
was in
ICE was after him, so we're like, okay, whatever, like, hop in the freaking car real quick. And then all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of people coming here and storming us and, like, beating up the car, ruining the car, pulling this dude out. Like, what is going on?
Surrounding the car from every single angle. And yeah, we had no idea what we was getting ourselves into. It's just like, we saw an injured man, so like, obviously we're gonna help because we're not bad people. What? And I don't know him. And so yeah, anyways, he gets in our car, like, yeah, surrounded us. They broke our tail light, was banging on the car, whatnot. They tried to rip him out the door, like they was like opening the door and shit. Wild. And so we do drive because like, we're not gonna, like, literally the longer we sat there, the longer he fought them off and the more damage was happening to Aaliyah's car. So we had to leave with him in the car. Like, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Don't fuck with him.
I was leaving.
Yeah. But also we can't just, like, you know, like, what else are we supposed to do? He's not gonna, like, let us kick him out the car. He's not gonna get out. So like, that was our only option at that point.
So we literally just go around the block, and I'm like, you know what? Like, you need to get out.
Yeah, we're still in the
Like,
same spot.
what is going on? Like, whose side are you on right now? Because, like, this is not okay. And I'm just getting super weird, bad vibe from this dude. And he's just like, oh, Trump something me. I gotta owe him back. And I'm just like,
yeah, he was
I
like,
don't care what Trump did for you. Like, ICE is fucking shit. Like, who are you? Like, who are you? And then I find out who he is. I'm like, I don't care if your Uber's here. You're not gonna wait in my fucking car. You need to get out right now.
As fuck. Like, we was not fucking having it.
Like, this is not okay. I do not support you. Like, speak your mind, whatever. But, like, I do not support what this is all about. Like, this is not okay. Like, you need to leave and you need to give me your contact information because you're paying for this fucking shit. Mm-hmm. Like, you're annoying. Like, I actually don't like you.
No, literally.
So,
fuck, it was like the most wild, like holy shit, my day just took like a 180 so fast. Like,
all of a sudden we're seeing protesters, all of a sudden we're a part of it.
Like,
cameras all up in the face.
Wish I could.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Just like
so
that.
Anyways, if you happen to see our faces at all, because I literally, it felt like paparazzi was everywhere fucking snapping pics. If you happen to see us, please know that we do not support this man fucking ever.
ICE needs to leave literally the whole country. I don't care about whatever they have going on. It's a whole vendetta, and they just need to fucking leave. Like, it's just not okay, and people all have rights, and nobody should be ripped away from their home. I don't care what is going on. People should not be treated like this. Like, we're protesting for things that are good, and there's all these people just putting up such a fight for what? Because we want equality and we want peace and we want to feel safe where we're at. Like, is that too much to ask? Obviously it is, because every day we're getting thousands of new people coming here, you know, and just causing so much destruction and so much just like unrestlessness, or I don't know, but it's just not okay. And was not expecting that to happen. We thought we were helping someone who was protesting against ICE, and that didn't turn out to be the case. And now we're here,
and now we're just here.
It's someone who literally is so prevalent or something. What?
Where was his like limo? If everyone knows him and he travels the country, like, or like, where's your like? You ain't got like people with you. Why was he like literally by himself? Like, what? I don't even.
Stupid.
What is the thought process there?
Because he's stupid and he likes attention and he thinks it's cool.
As fuck. He's so lucky we stopped for him. He's so lucky we did not know who he was, because I'm sorry, but like, you're for the streets. We're letting the wolves have you next time.
We'll look from in here and watch you get beat up and then go along our way and not be a part of this.
Yes, like, what? And yeah, I'm sorry this video is so long, but we had to like put that out there for sure, because like, I'm not trying to get caught up in no fucking like,
we already are.
We did already get caught up, but like, I don't want no opinions made. I want to set this shit straight before shit goes to public. Yeah, that's the deal. That's the rundown. We're gonna go
give
have
you guys his name, his number, his contact information. Go flood him up.
we literally have that.
Like, who are you?
We'll wait until after he pays for the car, and then we'll give you guys the info. Because yeah, that shit's fucked. This shit is fucked. Okay, I'm ready for a cocktail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Bye, guys. It's gonna stop.
Were you able to watch that, Ian? You're probably still
Yep.
watching the tail end of it because of the lag.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I'm
Crazy talk. I mean, inhumane. I would probably, just even if I don't like the guy, I don't care. You stay in the car and you come with me, and I get you to the hospital ASAP. You're bleeding. I mean,
Yeah.
no question. That's the same thing. And these people, I mean, I don't know, but most of Americans think that they are, say, Christian. Let's put it this way.
Mhm.
That's not a Christian way to act. Throwing the guy bleeding, probably to death, out of your car, that's not Christian at all.
Mm-hmm. I have another clip here. If I can find it. This was which U.S. official? There it is, right there. Okay. So this is, I don't know who this is. Hang on. Let me just see if I can. Well, we'll find it when I run the clip. This was on Fox News talking about, I think that this guy will defend ICE and say that they don't automatically investigate police or ICE shootings like the one in Minnesota that resulted in these escalated protests in the streets. Again, I have to take you off screen. Here we go.
What happened on that day has been reviewed by millions and millions of Americans because it was recorded on phones when it happened. Okay. The Department of Justice, our civil rights unit, we don't just go out and investigate every time an officer is forced to defend himself against somebody or putting his life in danger. We never do. That has nothing to do with what happened in Minneapolis. There are over 1,000 shootings every year where law enforcement are put in danger by individuals, and they have to protect themselves, and they have a lawful right to do so. The Department of Justice doesn't just stand up and investigate because some congressman thinks we should, because some governor thinks that we should. We investigate when it's appropriate to investigate, and that is not the case here. It wasn't the case when it happened, and it's not the case today. If circumstances change, and there's something that we do need to investigate around that shooting or any other shooting, we will. But we are not going to bow to pressure from the media, bow to pressure from politicians, and do something that we never do. Not under this administration, not under the last administration. And so, no, we are not investigating. And if there comes a time when we need to, we will, but it's not now.
Duh. Okay. I'm gonna. Wow. Okay. I disagree. I'll tell you why I disagree. Here in Ontario, in Kazakhstan, since 1990, it has been mandatory for police services to investigate any police shooting. Any. Period. If somebody gets shot, there's going to be an investigation, period. For a variety of reasons.
Yep.
To protect the officer, if innocent, to protect, a victim, like, or not just to protect, but just to find out what the truth is, to really dig into it and find out what went wrong, who's to blame, why it happened, how it can be prevented from happening in the future, how you might better protect officers in the future and civilians to keep people safer. It's a mandatory thing. As soon as someone is shot, you call in the Special Investigations Unit here in Ontario. It's been that way, mandatory since 1990. All right. It's
If
not
I'm not mistaken, what you're talking about is an investigation through deontology.
the what?
The deontology, basically, it's how the police works internal in itself, or how things works. I'll look it up.
It's a civilian headed, like it's civilian oversight of police, essentially. But they do. It's a special unit of investigators with a civilian board, and it was set up in 1990. It's been mandatory ever since across Ontario. Similar rules apply in other jurisdictions in some parts of Canada. It's not universal. This is not really something that happens in the United States. The reason it happens, the reason it's done, is because you can have a crooked cop who can set up a scenario where he could shoot a civilian and make it look like self-defense. You just don't know. There could be something that's gone on in the background that you have no idea. Maybe the guy's got a personal vendetta. The guy owes him money. Like, you just never know, right? That's why you call in the SIU, to find out everything that happened, and you deal with it in a professional way to get to the truth, which then gets you better outcomes for policing down the road.
That's
it. I think it's an appropriate thing. It's a good thing. It puts the entire incident under a microscope, and
that's the deontological ethics.
I can't understand. You're too French for me, Dragon. I cannot. But I got the idea.
I'll put it on the chat.
Okay. Anyway, so that's what happens here. So Ontario pioneered that in 1990, and that's an extension of, I think, concepts of community policing, which have kind of, under Norman Peale was the guy who came up with community policing ideology, if you will, that was applied to police services across much of North America. Some of that has been pushed aside in favor of more DEI focused policing efforts over the past, I'd say, at least decade. And that's unfortunate, but the SIU mandatory investigations remain. And that's why you see people down in the States calling for an investigation into the shooting of Renee Good. I think it's entirely appropriate, because the DOJ, or the people who run ICE, Homeland Security, Tom Homan, the whole crew, Kristi Noem, they've just ruled on it. They've just said, no, this doesn't warrant any kind of investigation. Our guy's right. The civilian is wrong. They don't get a day in court. You can't have no questions asked. We're right, you're wrong. And instead of having an investigation, they call in more police. They crack down harder. They bring in more paramilitary troops, and to just make a further point that we're not stopping. It scares me, because I saw that video, and regardless of which side you take on it, an investigation is warranted to find out what really happened, and what in reality, Dragon, Ian, they are investigating, but they're only investigating one side. They're investigating Renee Good. Yesterday, there was a story, I think it was broken by CBS or NBC. Anyway, they reported that they're investigating, I think, Renee Good's partner, her domestic partner. And they're digging into her background and just digging to find anything they can to discredit the civilian. But they're not looking at the cop or the ICE agent at all. That tells me something. That tells me there's bias there. You investigate both sides, man. You investigate everything. You get down to the nitty gritty. You find out everything you possibly can to get the whole picture. That'll get you to the truth. What they're doing is not pursuing truth. And when whatever, verdict they come up with, in or out of court, and it's not going to court, but whatever they decide, it won't be true justice, because it won't be truth.
No, it's one-sided justice.
Yeah, it doesn't serve the public. So you go ahead, all you MAGA types and Trumpsters, and cheer on, but that is not freedom. Not even close. So again, I say to you, Canada is a freer country by far than the United States because we have more. Well, we're focused on getting more to the truth. The system is different and it's better. It's more democratic. Now, you don't want to hear that because you got stars and stripes on the brain these days, but that's propaganda, man. It's time to wake the F up. There's so much at stake here.
Yeah.
Example.
I mean, to me, it sounds like authoritarianism, plain simple.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
We should have probably invited Kevin or Mr. Mike Pekarik for our little war game, because these guys are military trained people, they know a little bit of military.
I thought about that, but I didn't think it was appropriate for this. No, because they're both, because of their connections, like they've got areas of interest and expertise. One's on the Russian side, one's on, America. We're Canadians, we're civilians. We're not there. So I think there's a little bit more impartiality here between you and I on this tonight. So I just thought we'd do this. And really, it's not about bringing in them or people like, experts or whatever. This is about AI and reviewing what other people have already come up with so that we can share all that with you. And maybe even give our viewers an opportunity to weigh in and call the program partway through as we start digging into this stuff and start typing in the prompts and the questions to the different AI engines to find out where that takes us. But yeah, to pivot back now, generating the pretext for a possible invasion. It seems that it's shifting to two things. Well, it's been drugs for a while, saying Canada is a hub for money laundering, drug trafficking, drug smuggling into the United States, which the stats just do not support it, regardless of what a certain reporter out there is spinning in the media. It's just not. It's not true. The numbers don't support it. And that's not just an opinion on my part. That's me researching it and looking at it, and it doesn't work. Believe what you want. It's almost a free country. And then it's been, what was it? So drugs, then it was...
Well,
what was the other reason?
I will look at the timeline, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Trump was elected around November, all right? So back then it was the drugs and all that, right? And then quickly we had the fire in the Palisades of San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken, or California. So the wildfire makes basically our water is, because he wants our water, even if we had little fish that we don't want to get, in cup and all that. Mm-hmm. So now it's the resources, then it's go back to basically the drugs war and whatnot, and also, like you said, money laundering and whatnot. So what is it, right? He's jumping from a fish to another.
Yeah.
Nice little pun.
Yeah, and you're hearing this constant talk about us being a commie country, communist. So, that's a big threat. Can't have communists on the northern border. And now it's pivoting over to Canada not being able to defend the Arctic, just like Denmark, right? So it's all these excuses that they're ginning up in order to create a pretext for invading. And then you have all these sub-issues like, Jeff Evely and highlighting the don't walk in the forest thing out in Nova Scotia, which is a provincial thing, but highlighting that and playing that up as a violation of rights, LGBTQS plus rights, the Ostrich Farm thing, just being disruptive, bringing in U.S. interests out there. making that into a political show. You have what else? So just there's a long list.
Yep.
Lieutenant Rogers with his SOS writing campaign, urging Canadians to write letters to the United States that he delivered to ask for an invasion in order to save the country from that communist dictator.
Things that Canadian probably are more open to, where you have Americans that is not open to, or that's where it's getting crazy, and this is where we have a conflict of interest between the two of us, or a conflict. Nonetheless, it is a conflict.
Yeah, I mean, in Ontario, just to pivot back again, even if you just discharge your weapon as a police officer, there's an investigation. They look into it. Like, why did you do that? What were the circumstances? Yeah. Not down there. It's like, oh no, we're just not going to bother. Because
I should say Quebec, but in Montreal, Quebec. I mean, it's the ethic. You got to go through that. There's no way that you ain't gonna shoot one bullet without having an investigation about it.
So, Canada moving toward more trade with China is necessary because Trump has put us in that position, whether you like it or not. And this isn't a liberal conservative thing. This is an issue of survival as a nation state. You need to be able to trade, especially Canada, because we're an exporting country. In order to generate wealth, we have to sell a lot of our natural resources: nickel, uranium, lumber, oil. The list goes on, right? And so we saw this week Carney and a delegation to China. Off they went. First time in a long time, come back with $1 trillion deal, dropping tariffs, I think, from 100% on electric vehicles made in China to about 6.1, I think is the going to be the effective tariff rate, 6.1%. And in reciprocal fashion, the Chinese drop the tariff on canola. I think it's going to drop down to 13%, which makes Canadian canola competitive again and saves that sector. And Trump says, oh, that's okay. We're neutral. Canada, I guess, advised the United States in advance because, of course, it's obviously a sensitive thing. Canada slapped the 100% tariff on the EV vehicles to begin with, frankly, honestly, truthfully, accurately, because the United States was slapping tariffs on. So Canada being integrated with the United States through its auto industry, we followed suit. We supported what they were doing on the U.S. side. That's why we did it. But then we suffered the backlash. The Canadian government got the political hit through the anti-liberal media in Canada. But so Trudeau took it on the chin. The Liberals took it on the chin. The reality is they did it because Biden did it. They did it because of where Trump kind of took things prior to that. They did it. Canada did it because the United States did it. And we were sort of forced to fall into line, lockstep. The North American auto industry integrated. So it wasn't just a Canadian thing. So 100% tariffs go on. And then we get kicked in the groin. Canola oil, not going to go to China anymore. So we paid a penalty because of our alignment with the United States. But who got the blame in the media? Just Canada, just the Liberal government. Okay, you want to play politics, that's fine. Today I'm walking through, like I said, Walmart. I looked over. There's a copy of the Toronto Sun. I don't have a copy of it up here. The front page, top header, headline: Carney in bed with the devil. Okay. There's U.S. money, by the way, in the Toronto Sun newspaper. There's U.S. influence over that paper. There has been for a long time. So it came as no surprise to me. And they're conservative or right-leaning, maybe just right-wing. And that's all fine. But you should know that there is U.S. influence, heavy U.S. influence, and there has been for a long time in the Toronto Sun. So the headline on the top: Carney in bed with the devil, and he's sitting there in a picture with Xi Jinping. Of course, you get a lot of anti-China rhetoric, propaganda. coming out of the United States, and that filters up here into Canada. They don't want us trading with China. Because they don't want China to have our resources. They don't want oil. They don't want anything going to China. So that's why they're poo-pooing this. They don't want it. They don't want those cars produced in Canada that might eventually be exported into the United States. That's what Carney's hoping for, is to produce those things to some degree here. They said that they want to produce the first car in Canada, the first Chinese brand car in Canada, maybe a BYD or one of those, and with Chinese know-how were the words today. And we'll see. I think it might actually happen. That won't make Trump happy. I'm not even sure he will allow it at this point. What do you think?
I see embargo soon. I'm serious. Trump actually, I think, did spoke about it a while ago. So, I mean, he didn't spoke about embargo, but the way that he speak about, I'm going to crush Canada with tariffs and economic sanction, the way that he speak about it at the same time that he was starting his raids on oilers from Venezuela, that was basically where I started to draw that conclusion. So, yeah.
Well, 49,000 Chinese vehicles will be allowed to enter the Canadian market with a 6.1% tariff right off the bat. That gets everything going. That opens the door to more trade with China. That will make a lot of people very unhappy and uneasy because we've been subjected to so much anti-China rhetoric. And I totally get it. And I have concerns too about national security. But right now, there's no question the most hostile country on the planet to Canada is the United States. And I hate that. Pains me to say it because they've been our closest friend and trading partner and ally and friend for so long. But we have had a history too of them trying to invade us. Here we go again. They're replaying a lot of this stuff. And the United States isn't just making under Trump an enemy out of Canada, Venezuela, Cuba, Greenland. You know who else they've been demonizing? The United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see a lot of people in the Trump circles for a long time demonizing the UK, demonizing the King, demonizing the PM, demonizing Britain. There's a long history there. It's like these people just can't let go of 1776. They just want to keep on fighting. It's bizarre to me because the UK has been a great friend of the United States as well. You might not agree with who they elect and where their politics have landed at the moment because maybe it's too liberal for you, but the UK should still and has been, it is a NATO country, an ally of the United States, and all this activity is blowing NATO apart. This too, with this Chinese trade with Carney, that is having some people wonder if Trump will allow it and maybe set Canada up for some sort of intervention or action on the U.S. side, if maybe won't allow it. I don't know. Here's Carney talking about it, though.
I had discussions with President Xi about the situation in Greenland, about our sovereignty in the Arctic, about the sovereignty of the people of Greenland and the people of Denmark, and I found much alignment of views in that regard.
So what this was Carney saying that he met with Chinese leaders talking about Greenland, Arctic sovereignty of other nations. And while Trump is sitting there saying, and the people around him are saying, we have to take Greenland because if we don't, China or Russia will take it. But there's Carney. He's meeting with Chinese leaders, and they're like, I think we're in agreement with you. They don't have any interest in taking Greenland. I think they have an interest in being able to navigate through there safely with their ships. But I don't hear any talk from China about taking over Greenland to ensure that they can do it.
No, what they want is Taiwan.
Yeah, well, they do want country. That, right?
Wrong country.
Which flows right into the whole plan that I've been sharing with people that they really do have to carve up the world into spheres of dominance. And China gets Asia. China will take Taiwan. And Trump will stay out of there because that's not in their vital national interest. Now, They have to get the computer chip industry out of there because the U.S. has so much invested in Taiwan, so many companies. But I think that they're making efforts right now. We saw it under Biden with the Chips and Sciences Act to get to repatriate the companies that are producing computer chips in Taiwan, get them back to the United States. Big money was spent on that. That's underway. Once I think a lot of that is completed, then you'll see China move, but probably not before.
Yeah, that's in the ballpark of possibility. I think they will wait for the right moment to hit, basically.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of conspiracies out there, and maybe people did see that. Maybe some of these politicians knew this was coming a long time ago. I think Michelle Rempel Gardner from the Conservative Party, member of Parliament, stating maybe Friday, I'm not sure, maybe it was yesterday. Anyway, there was a post online saying that the Liberal government needs to answer more questions about aligning more with China, and there needs to be, and I'm paraphrasing, but more scrutiny or a review of things like even foreign police stations on Canadian soil, and and making reference to Chinese troops being trained in Canada. And people, again, the U.S. influenced media in Canada only telling part of that story, because when they talk about the Chinese troops like being trained on Canadian soil, they're only telling part of the story. The Liberals are always blamed, but the truth of the matter is it was Stephen Harper that brought those Chinese troops here to begin with in 2019 as part of a diplomatic effort. The Chinese troops were here mostly in an observational role where they're just observing training exercises, winter survival exercises. There were only certain things they were allowed to see for security reasons, and it was viewed and stated by Harper at the time that it was an effort to foster better relations as China was continuing to become an emerging power, both militarily and economically. And it was obviously a logical thing to do, given that China is on the rise, and there's lots of opportunity there for Canada to do more trade. So he's the one who started bringing the Chinese troops here, and it continued though that was in 2013, I think it was, and it continued right up until 2019, and then finally it was discontinued because of national security concerns. And it was the Liberals who canceled it, but highlighted. I don't think it even came to light in the public very much until about 2020. And that's when some stories started to be done on it afterward. And I don't think it even happens today. If there's anything going on, it's very minimal. So it's both the Liberals and the Conservatives who have been, involved in that. If you don't agree with it, you better lay the blame on both sides, not just on one, because it was coming from both.
Yeah, balance and clarity.
Mm-hmm. So, and then it makes you wonder, right? Well, why were they doing that back then? Why are we getting this now? Maybe they knew this was coming from the United States and they were preparing for it. And then what happened around that time? We had the pandemic and all of that stuff, and Trump saying, China, China, China. It came from China. The pandemic came from China, the virus. And this stuff all ties together.
Yep.
So
it was part of the plan.
Yeah, trust the plan. Q. Which, people sit there and say, oh, that's all crazy conspiracy stuff. I don't think so. I think that a lot of that stuff from Q, it seemed pretty crazy, but there has been a plan. And that's it was crazy when Trump was not in power and what was not fully in control, and the plan had not fully evolved and hadn't really started to completely roll out yet. But now they're in hyperdrive, and you can see that a lot of that stuff is actually in play, and Canada's in play, along with all these other countries, as Trump tries to really take the entire North American continent as America. Oh, by the way, it's the Gulf of Mexico. Okay.
Don't you forget it.
That's how you fight back to reclaim your reality, not the manufactured reality, which Trump is imposing on people's brains. He's injecting a particular worldview and a particular world world order into your brains. That's the thing too. We haven't even gotten into this military stuff yet. Did you see the clip of Carney using the phrase New World Order?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And I do understand between the line of what he's saying, but people contract the whole thing differently. And I will tell you what he's telling us, basically, and that's my take, is that he's looking after, well, okay, the New World Order that he's referring
just
to.
You can't see it on my screen. Rebel News. The World Economic Forum is designed to keep normal people out. I mean, we're talking about the New World Order, and then their headline comes up like that. WEF, New World Order. Sorry.
No,
these are just trigger phrases, man.
Exactly. And that's exactly what you were telling us for a while now. It's not the WEF. The WEF is not at the top of the pyramid. It's Trump, Putin's, and all those guys, all those big powerhouse now that is dealing the whole thing behind our back, and you ain't part of the party, guys. That's it.
Because they're the autocrats, they're the authoritarians, they are and the technocrats are there too, which we've talked about, right? Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, all those guys.
Corporatocrat too.
Yes. So that's the cabal, all right? And they're doing it to you. Well, they're making you look over there, right? And some of the people at the WEF, they're part of it too. I mean, they're all kind of part of it. It doesn't matter which side you pick in. They're kind of all part of it. But okay, here's the thing. Carney uses the phrase New World Order. Why would he do that? Because it's happening. It's a true thing. So he says it. People's heads, especially on the I hate to use the word conservative. It's not conservative anymore. The populist side, their heads blow up, right? Because you're just triggered, folks. You're just triggered because Trump has been using that phrase too in recent weeks. He's been saying it, but nobody gets upset when he says it. Why is that? Because you think it's okay, I guess, when he's out. He's got mental or psychological immunity. That's why. Because people have been subjected to so much psychological warfare online that somehow you're just convinced that whatever Trump does is justified, and whatever the other side does is a crime being committed by a bunch of lunatics who are supporting a one world government. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, who's at the top of the pyramid? Three guys: Xi Jinping, Putin, and Trump. And then there are a few people kind of below there too. But that's your one world government, folks. Authoritarian.
I'll give you another analogy of what Rick just said, and Rick, probably you're going to be on point on or agree with me on this one. You got those, Trump is on the top of the West pyramid, okay? Mm-hmm. Or you got whatever, Putin and all those guys. Who's running behind them? The corporation, all the companies that is behind them. Mm-hmm. Who does he agree to, and who does he get into a line with? Corporation. So that's corporatocracy. Plain simple. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's how it works. And then you got also the expert on your PR side who's tell you what to do, how to digest or what not to do during a certain crisis. So that's your technocratic portion of the thing. So it's a corporato technocrat / hybrid kind of shit. Sorry to say shit, but it's what it is.
Oligarchy. That's what we're going to end up with, because what's going on right now is Trump. See, I can't believe people are even supporting this. This is insane. The people who want some sort of a free market, natural law thing, whatever, and they don't want a rigged system. Trump is rigging everything. He's even trying to rig the Federal Reserve, which is completely inappropriate and undermines trust in the U.S. economy and monetary system, because he's trying to take Jerome Powell and control that guy to get him to drop interest rates. Why does he want to do that? Because the tariffs that he's imposing, even though he's telling you it's resulting in growth, it isn't. There's less job growth. You're getting more inflation, not just in the U.S., but in Canada too. It affects both countries. That's why a 12 pack of Pepsi is $15.97 at Walmart. So he, as he pushes for all of this stuff, the economy is slowing down. Midterms are coming up. So what he wants Powell to do is drop interest rates, cut interest rates. You can't do that. Powell knows that, because if you do that, you're going to get hyperinflation and then it'll result in stagflation, which is actually declining growth with inflation, which is the worst thing you can possibly get, because once you get that happening in your economy, you have very limited tools that you can bring to bear to get that under control. So lower interest rates, that means money becomes cheaper. People borrow more. They get further extended. You don't have to print money to get inflation. You can lower the cost of money, which increases demand for money, and then that increases inflation, makes the money worth less and less over time. People will spend it to get rid of it, and they won't invest as much of it because the interest rates are low. So why put it in the bank or into investments where interest rates are lower? You'll inject more into consumerism, which is not good for the economy really in the long run, because people don't put anything away. There's no equity built up in the economy. It's just like, consume it all now, pay for it later if you can, except they can't. So they're going around stealing people's oil right now to pay for the $30 trillion debt that they can't afford, while pretending that they're still the most powerful economy in the world. And they've got de-dollarization happening all around the world. Are you seeing the problem here? These are dominoes that are falling. After the fall of the Berlin Wall and the end of the Cold War, Jeffrey Sachs, U.S. economist, he advised the Russians at the time to adopt a policy that he came up with called economic shock therapy. His recommendations resulted in an intentional crashing of the economy to reset everything there after the fall of communism. And you had all the communist countries that basically were able to break free, countries like Ukraine, right? Assert their independence. And that's really what Trump is doing here. He's got an economy that is overextended, owes way too much money. He has to find some way to, in his view, what he's doing, I think, is he's resetting it. He's not saving the economy. He's bringing in his own form of economic shock therapy with tariffs and all of these other measures. And along the way, he's enriching himself and his friends because he's controlling the economy. It's not free market. He has complete central market control over everything because he has tariffs. He can pull a lever and put a tariff on you, a tariff on this sector, a tariff on that sector, take it on, take it off, put it on, increase it, decrease it. He can control everything going on in every sector. And so he can make things crash. And if you know in advance when something is about to crash, you know that it's time to sell before it crashes. And once it crashes, you have all that money socked away, and then you can go in and buy for pennies on the dollar the assets that have now been devalued to, maybe pennies on the dollar. That's what's coming. That's what he's been doing. He's been enriching himself and his friends with a totally controlled economy. And if you want exemptions from tariffs, you have to, seek favor with the president at Mar-a-Lago or the White House, bend the knee, bring a gift, and beg that you be spared the wrath of Trump tariffs. And Trump has people beating a path to his door, and he's got his crown on because he is the king. I mean, I hate to say it. I never thought I'd see it. He's not a free market guy. He's not a conservative at all. He's absolutely an authoritarian and he's all about full government market control over everything. That is a very Marxist thing. Remember, I keep talking about communofascism, the convergence of the left and the right, communism and fascism. I mean, look at Jackson Hinkland, MAGA communism, he calls it, right? I'm not alone in this.
It's becoming bear to fruit.
So that's where it's going. I kind of lost track of where we're supposed to be, but it's all still on track. This is sadly the reality. And I'm glad my dad doesn't think it's going to happen. He's happy. Not me. I can't sleep. I can't eat, and it's not because I'm in love. Not with this.
It's more of a toxic relationship right now.
Yeah, I'm left in a state of horror. That's why I can't sleep. It's not because of my love. Oh man. So where does that? So I'm going to throw it to you for a moment and just get your thoughts as I regroup mine and we prepare to dig into this simulation of the United States invading Canada. Now that you know that they have the predication for doing just such a thing, and God help us, I think he's coming. Sorry, Dad, it's true. But over to you, sir.
Yeah, well, it's scary, and I think that we need to step up a little bit and probably make sure that our voice is heard in the right way. So, yeah, I think it's a good timing to get into our wargaming, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Let's take a little break. We'll come back. Oh, yeah, we'll come back on the other side. Oh, before we do that, though, getting into the Canada thing, just to show how serious, and this is a real thing. This is the hang on here. This is Denmark's army chief, and he says they are ready to defend Denmark as we have NATO troops landing in Denmark, where they're saying diplomatically that it's, I don't know, they're not coming right out and saying it, but they're there because of the United States, which just blows my mind. This is so freaking stupid. This is over from the Atlantic. Oops, sorry, I took Ian off the screen. I'm going to run the clip here, though, Ian. Hang on. And here's Denmark's army chief.
Copenhagen following the diplomatic and security crisis. I am here in Copenhagen following the diplomatic and security crisis created by President Trump's insistence that the United States acquire Greenland, the island that is an autonomous territory of the Kingdom of Denmark. Yesterday was a really important moment in this crisis when the foreign ministers of both Denmark and Greenland traveled to Washington for a meeting at the White House with Vice President Vance as well as the Secretary of State Marco Rubio. As that meeting was about to happen, I met here in Copenhagen with the Chief of the Danish Army, Peter Boysen, to ask him about what Denmark is prepared to do to defend Greenland. And he was adamant that Denmark is able to step up its presence on the island and to take Arctic security seriously. He spoke about drones and ships and radars and the ability to understand what's unfolding on this mostly uninhabited territory, but he also spoke about boots on the ground. And this is important because on the same day that this meeting was happening in Washington, Denmark took steps to up its military presence on the island, to dispatch soldiers and other kinds of military equipment. This was an important signal, both that Denmark was prepared to play an important role within NATO to take the security of the island seriously against potential adversaries, and also a kind of message to President Trump that there's a military presence there and that the United States could either join Denmark's efforts or oppose it. And a decision by the United States to oppose that effort, to mount a kind of military incursion, would be an extraordinary threat to NATO. As the Prime Minister of Denmark has said, it would end this 80-year alliance. And soldiers in Denmark are bound by a royal decree that says that they are obligated to fight back against any invaders. Now, when I asked the Danish Army Chief if this would apply to American soldiers attacking Greenland, he demurred, saying, "This is a political question. I'm just a soldier."
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he said, "I'm just a soldier." Which says to me, yeah, it means there could be a war with the United States. How crazy is that?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one question I might want to ask at some point to our little friend AI. What would be the possibility that if Trump keeps going this way, how much NATO could turn him, on his dime, sort of thing? Or should NATO basically kick the US out of NATO and become one alliance without the US?
So this is new. It's the world. and this is a new order. So seems to me like this is very much an effort to create a new world order. But it's not just the WEF, and it's not just the WHO, and it is Russia, it's India, it's China, it's the United States, it's some of these other countries. Okay, it's the three majors, and we're caught in the crossfire, and soon we're going to be directly in Trump's sights. You saw the story that I just highlighted there, where Trump is focusing on Canada in very much the same way he's focused on Greenland, using the same excuses and beginning to ramp all that stuff up, and even more because you're doing too much with China. Oh, you're a communist country. Got to take out that commie bastard in Ottawa. We're not a communist country. I joke about us being Kanakistan, and I used to say China, but that was justified because at the time we had Trudeau in there and he was locking us down. But we are a democracy and that guy's out. He's gone. And if you want to get Carney out of there, you can vote for that too and do something about that. But I don't know what we're going to do, man. I'm just saying they're all in on it. They're all in on it. So Harper brought the Chinese here. Trudeau let them stay. And they got a club and we ain't in it. I'm trying to just let everybody know because we're all just a bunch of ants. But if all together I don't want you to rise up, okay? I'm not trying to get you to do that, but maybe speak up. And it's the Gulf of Mexico. Repeat after me. It's the Gulf of Mexico. Keep it real. That's the first step toward pushing back. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back on the other side, and we'll see what Grok and Google's AI system have to say, and we're gonna look at some of the other people's work on this front too. The United States invades Canada when we come back.
Greetings, brave mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals. Defenders of individual rights and freedoms. Credible. Trusted. Grounded in reality. Maverick News. Maverick News. Defending free speech. Free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Brightleaf Innovations is excited to offer our newest investment opportunity. The Turn Easy Bed Storage Solution.
Turns with a touch, spins all the way around. Every little thing you need is easy to be found. No more clutter, no more mess on the floor. Just spin it, reach it, you don't search anymore. Turn Easy Bed, spin your world. Treasures to protect, built-in power when you need to recharge. Smart design that makes your bedroom feel large. Turn Easy Bed, spin your world around. Storage made simple, the best you found. Shelves your way, keep the mess away. Brightleaf Innovations, proudly Canadian and patent pending in North America. Turn Easy Bed transforms how you live.
To learn more about this innovative new product idea, an exciting investment opportunity, call 519-784-0222 or visit brightleafinnovations.com.
There he is, French Donald Trump.
The one and only, the incredible, the only Donald Trump.
So why don't you set this up, set the stage for us, set the table, and with your best French Donald Trump, tell us why you want to invade Canada.
Well, it's simple, guys. You got every good resources that the U.S. needs. I mean, you got the copper, you got the oil, you got everything. I mean, we need that it's for the interest of the U.S. That's it.
Okay, so you're coming, are you? You're coming for us.
We're knocking at the door right now.
Okay, well, Donald, I was asked. The first thing I did over the last few days when I began this is I just typed a question into Google, and so Google's AI engine generated a response for me. I'm going to share it with you. It surprised me because, of course, the United States being the world's most powerful country, or so we are told, and a nuclear power, they dwarf Canada's military in virtually every way. However, let me show it to you over here. If I can find your tab, there we go. And here it is. I'll bring it up in this system so you can stay online with me. We don't need audio for this. And so what happens if the US invades Canada? So Google's AI engine says if the U.S. invaded Canada, it would likely face immediate military setbacks and a prolonged, devastating insurgency from Canadian citizens, leading to immense U.S. costs, international condemnation, and potential collapse of American resolve, ultimately turning into a quagmire far worse than a conventional war, with experts predicting decades of violent resistance and immense instability for the U.S. itself. Immediate military and conventional phase, U.S. strategy, the U.S. would likely use overwhelming air power, which they love to do, and combined arms to quickly seize key cities, Vancouver, Montreal, Ottawa, infrastructure, airports, ports, pipelines, and communication hubs to paralyze Canada's response. Canada's military, while vastly outnumbered, Canada's smaller professional forces would initially resist, but the sheer scale difference favors the U.S. in initial conventional clashes. The insurgency and aftermath, the long war, massive resistance. Experts warn that an invasion would trigger a massive decades-long insurgency with ordinary Canadians engaging in guerrilla warfare, sabotage, and civil disobedience fueled by patriotism and anger. High U.S. costs. The U.S. would face immense personnel losses, equipment costs, and significant economic damage from disrupted trade, mirroring costly counterinsurgencies in Iraq and Afghanistan. Internal U.S. strain. The conflict would likely sap American public will and create deep societal divisions, especially with low current support for such a war. There would be global and political fallout and international crisis. The invasion would shatter the NATO alliance, destroy U.S. relationships with Western allies, and violate international law under the UN Charter. Geopolitical exploitation. Adversaries like China and Russia would seize the opportunity to advance their global agendas, destabilizing Europe and other regions. And the conclusion? Folly. Experts overwhelmingly agree that invading Canada will be an act of extreme folly for the U.S., resulting in an unwinnable, costly, and destructive conflict rather than a quick conquest or annexation. What do you think of that? Does that surprise you?
No, and I think it's pretty accurate with what I thought. I'll be honest, sometimes I listen to podcasts like Canadian Prepper, which has actually a good, well, not all the time, but he has, say, a wide variety of strategy and whatnot. So I will say that sometimes he's on ballpark of what's possible, and I'll say that, well, he surprised me sometimes. So I'll go with some of what he says sometimes. Um, and that's one thing that I'm gonna go with Grok at some point. Are we into what I would call a pinch sort of a strategy? You know what a pinch strategy is you got one country on one side coming on the other side like this. So basically you're into a sandwich. So we are all already sandwiched by US on one side, and then you're gonna have Denmark or Greenland become US. What does that makes us? Basically between a quagmire or a sandwich between two US controlled country. So basically we are caved in by the troops coming in on both sides of the country.
Well, the AI answer from Google right here, that's just a simple Google search. That it did surprise me because I thought it would tell me that the US would just overwhelm us, that we wouldn't likely fight back very hard, and they would just take us over.
Well,
but
okay. Historically speaking, I know probably why your AI told you this. It's because Canadians are known to have a kind of a militia sort of mentality in wartime. If you look at during World War One and during World War Two, the Vimy Battle. The Vimy Battle is one. The Vimy Ridge is one example of militia tactics that Canadian does use in wartime. So,
when you're a smaller power and you're invaded, if you don't have the technology or the armor or the personnel, you use different tactics, and what you do is you make yourself very prickly like a porcupine, very unappetizing, kind of not worth it to come and try to eat it. Just the cost is too high because you're going to be picking, what do they call them? What do they call those things? Porcupine needles, whatever the word escapes me at the moment. The prickly things.
Yeah.
The prickly things, you're going to be pulling those out of your freaking mouth because then it's going to hurt too much to try and take a bite. So that's what the strategy is generally when you're dealing with much smaller powers and you get guerrilla warfare. That's what you end up with. And that's what Google is saying experts believe would happen. Quills. Thank you, Linda. Quills. I'm sorry, I just couldn't think of the word. Anyway, too many quills in your gums and your tongues. So you don't want to do that.
No.
And I have to say, we're at war now. Like Bannon, he's now an enemy of Canada. Like, make no mistake. Trump, he's an enemy of Canada. This country is at war because he's declared economic warfare on us. It's just that nobody wants to say it out loud because they don't want to trigger an actual military response. But it's underway. He's using economic warfare, tariffs. He's using tariffs as a weapon to try to get what he wants everywhere. It's not an economic tool. That's why people who think that there's some way to negotiate your way out of this, no, he doesn't care about a negotiated settlement. He's got his eye on a different prize, and that's the whole enchilada, baby. He doesn't care about a USMCA deal. It doesn't matter. That's true. The reason it doesn't matter is because he thinks he's just going to take everything. And there's nothing that can stop him except his own morality and his own mind, which means nothing. So he's coming.
It's very close to, I would say, psychological terrorism. Sorry to say the word, but it sounds like that to a certain degree. So, and that's just my perception. So don't take my quote on it.
So I was just scrolling through YouTube to see what other people have come up with when they've researched this, and there are a lot of people have produced videos about this stuff. So I thought we'd just do a little scroll. And again, I'm going to have to take you off screen to show people what we have here on YouTube. Okay. So Here goes Dragon off screen. He can still hear me, and we'll do this. Okay. You can see that. So the first video is, could the USA invade Canada? A military expert's analysis. Invading Canada would be a terrible mistake, according to Military Rated. Let's just play a little of this, okay? We'll see what it says.
If you want to have a job in the next 5 years, these are the AI rules you need to know.
There we go.
As pushed north, could NATO actually defend Canada? And how would such a scenario likely play out? I'm Tuomas, a former officer in the Finnish Defense Forces, and this is part 2 of October's community-voted deep dive, after we covered Greenland last week. We'll start with the order of battle: air power, naval power, ground forces, kit and readiness. Then follow the money and the realities of attempting to occupy an armed-to-the-teeth hunting nation with vast expanses of nearly untouched wilderness, as well as a border which is quite honestly one of the easiest in the world to get small sabotage teams across. As in our Greenland video, I just want to reiterate that I don't particularly see this happening, not because I don't think the current administration wants to, but down to the fact that the US population likely wouldn't allow it, and America's bases and standing worldwide, both financially and militarily, would collapse. But that doesn't mean that we can't theorize and follow the wishes of our community, so here we go. As always, to flesh out a better understanding of a potential conflict, we start with the numbers because they matter. Canada fields roughly 75,000 active personnel, supported by around 27,000 reservists, plus, as we discussed in our Greenland video, the uniquely local Arctic specialist Canadian Rangers. About 5,600 volunteers who are the permanent eyes and ears of the far north. That gives Canada a compact, professional force with deep territorial knowledge and an institutional focus on homeland defense. As the defender, Canada would likely see a massive surge in enlistment if the US were to attack, meaning that within a few months, their figures would likely double, not only with army personnel, but also with local communities taking up arms against an invasion. By contrast, the United States fields about 1.3 million active duty troops, plus a massive reserve and National Guard. The manpower gap is huge. On paper, that lets the US generate overwhelming force fast. In practice, geography, domestic politics in democratic states, and economics blunt that edge. A large slice of US strength is overseas. Roughly 206,000 personnel are stationed abroad, mostly in Japan, Germany, South Korea, Italy, and the UK. Canada, for its part, has around 3,000 deployed, mainly in the Baltics with NATO's forward presence. For Canada's generals and its Commonwealth and NATO partners, a key warning sign would likely be American forces stationed abroad, starting to regroup at home, because they're often the tip of the spear for any American operation. In equipment, the gap in scale is as big, if not larger. Canada fields roughly 80 Leopard 2 tanks, a towed artillery arm built around about 33 777 howitzers, with a further 100 or so older 105mm howitzers in reserve. Canada is also currently in the midst of a program to add some 80 to 90 self-propelled guns from European suppliers, and operates a wheeled armor fleet centered on the Canadian-built LAV family, about 550 upgraded LAV-3 and LAV-6 vehicles, plus roughly 360 armored combat support vehicles, putting the LAV-based fleet close to 900 vehicles. On top of this, Canada also operates some 1,000 plus lighter armored vehicles, articulated vehicles and MRAPs. The United States, by contrast, fields far larger formations, roughly 1,400 Abrams tanks in its armored brigade combat teams, around 670 M109 self-propelled guns, and a towed M777 fleet measured in the high hundreds. When we add on the 400 or so HIMARS launchers, we end up at a total of well over 2,000 artillery pieces in the U.S. Armory. On top of that, the U.S. fields thousands of infantry fighting vehicles and wheeled combat platforms, roughly 2,400 Bradleys, and more than 4,000 Strykers, though it is important to note that a large part of the U.S. armored inventory is in storage and would need some time to be activated. Add in Humvees, MRAPs, light armored tactical vehicles, and the whole shebang, and you're probably looking at closer to 100,000 vehicles in all US branches, though again quite large parts of this inventory is stored abroad. With that in mind, on the ground, the map still favors the defender, as there is only so much armor you can push into a country without causing massive jams, like what Russia experienced when trying to take Kyiv in 2022. Canada's forces are optimized for its own territory: mechanized infantry, mobile LAV brigades, and a compact tank force trained for sniping on its home turf in the forest and Arctic approaches, while US brigades bring mass, logistics, and long-range fires that the Canadian Army can't hope to match one-on-one. In a set-piece fair-weather clash with intact logistics and clear skies, that American mass massively favors the attacker. But Canada, with its huge country, doesn't have to give the US that fight. They can do as Ukraine, trade space for time, bleed supply lines with terrain using cheap FPV drones, make the US clear cities and take outsized casualties in the process, and turn every advance into a potential supply trap. That is the defensive logic. Any initial defense would try to blunt American advances with a few armored formations, holding choke points and demolishing crossings like the Ambassador Bridge and hundreds of other roads that connect the two countries over rivers and lakes, while much of the Canadian Army withdraws into terrain that is cheaper to defend and far harder for an occupier to sustain.
Hey, would you like your very own Shopify?
No, I don't want a Shopify store. Thanks.
When the Allied armies had fought their way to the Elbe River in Germany in 1945, only 120 or so kilometers from Berlin, they had only traveled some 950 kilometers into Europe, after a grueling 10 months of fighting with complete air and armored superiority in mostly farmland and cities. 950 kilometers when transposed onto Canada gets you about halfway up British Columbia, meaning that the Canadian Army would have almost unlimited territory to trade for casualties. And as we discussed earlier, Canada outside its metropolitan areas is mostly extremely dense woodland and not easily accessible remote areas. Air power will most likely shape the opening phase, and here the numbers show a similar trend. Canada is mid-upgrade for their fighter fleet. Legacy Hornets, about 89 in service, keep flying, and they'd almost certainly focus on a withdrawal to bases far north in Canada and performing defensive counter-air operations, like Ukrainian jets do with Russia's air power, shooting down missiles and inbound ordnance rather than trying to duel the sheer mass of US air power. Canada has no bombers and no early warning aircraft of its own. But for ESR, it leans on roughly 14 Aurora Patrol and intelligence aircraft, and for lift it fields 5 Globemasters strategic transports alongside 17 Hercules medium lift craft. By contrast, the United States brings scale at every tier. The US Air Force fighter force alone is on the order of around 2,000 aircraft across its fleets. The US Navy adds roughly 450 more, and the US Marine Corps is on track for around 200 F-35s delivered by the end of this year, pushing the total US fighter inventory well above 2,600 across the three services. The bomber arm includes about 120 active aircraft. For airborne warning, the US Air Force keeps around 15 E-3 Sentry, while the Navy supplies the carrier-borne E-2D Hawkeye squadrons, which numbers 78 in total. And the airlift wings of the American Armed Forces are unmatched, around 500 heavy and medium airlift assets across the force, backed by a huge tanker fleet, giving Washington the ability to seize airfields and ports quickly and move forces at continental scale. That air dominance is the reason the US Armed Forces could potentially seize airfields and ports fast. It is also the reason why the first 48 to 72 hours of any North American campaign would look brutal and one-sided. If you're Canadian, you're probably thinking, well, Thomas, this all looks rather useless. But in a bit, I'll get to why a potential conflict would probably not be the kind of brutal onslaught that Pete Hegseth dreams of at night. Maritime geography only makes an occupier's job harder, and the numbers underline why. The US Navy is massive by tonnage. Reputable trackers put US fleet displacement at roughly 4 million tons of warship tonnage. By contrast, the Royal Canadian Navy's entire active fleet amounts to only a few 100,000 tons at most, using class displacements for Halifax-class frigates, Victoria-class submarines, Harry de Wolfe patrol ships, Kingston coastal vessels, and the new Protecteur Auxiliary. The RCN's total fleet displacement is on the order of 130,000 tons. Though, as we've seen in Ukraine, attacking a large nation with a massive inland territory with such assets is an entirely different proposition. Canada's small but nimble navy can easily hide inside the countless fjords and inlets of the Canadian coast and strike when needed. It's not going to try to hunt US ships on the open oceans, but we have to remember that only a few missiles, or in Ukraine's case, drone boats and old Soviet Neptune missiles, can sink entire capital ships. The Royal Canadian Navy has a mix of vessels with capable harpoon missiles and torpedoes, which could quickly duck out of a fjord and fire at American assets, meaning that in reality, the US Navy would likely need to wait for its air assets to try to hunt down the smaller Canadian fleet before moving close to Canadian territory. Now, let's return to the actual question. Should Canada just give up in such a scenario? The simple answer is no. After a few weeks of American shock and awe, with a chunk of Canadian cities and southern lands in US hands, the most difficult phase for the US would begin. On the ground, we can't understate Canada's rural gun culture. Licensed firearms ownership runs in the millions. Hunting rifles, shotguns, and a significant number of semi-automatic platforms are common across rural provinces and the territories. Hunters, trappers, indigenous communities, and remote towns all bring local knowledge, mobility assets like snowmobiles and ATVs, and a cultural familiarity with living off the land.
You have
pool of potential resistance fighters and a logistical headache for any occupier trying to hold population centers while also policing the countryside. And then there's all the outside factors. Politically, the fallout would be huge. An attack by the United States on Canada would shatter NATO norms and trigger near universal condemnation. Allies in NATO and the Commonwealth would be put to a binary choice: join the aggressor, oppose them, or fracture the alliance. The diplomatic, economic, and legal consequences would be immediate: freezing financial access, calling in on US foreign debt, which is a large part of the current $40 trillion of deficit, expelling US interests from foreign markets and bases, and quitting the US dollar as the world reserve currency. Quickly summarized, the soft power cost to the US as a superpower would be incalculable. That cascade of diplomatic fallout is a major deterrent in itself. For all the overwhelming hardware and the so-called war plans supposedly dreamed up by Pete Hegseth and his makeup team, the biggest obstacle to invading Canada sits inside the United States, its own public. Polls on the 51st state idea are brutally clear. Roughly half of Americans are outright against merging with Canada. Another big chunk say they would only even consider it if Canadians themselves begged for it. Well over 9 in 10 give either no support or only very conditional support to the idea. There is no popular mandate for a war of annexation against a friendly democracy. Then add the geography of US politics. 13 American states share a border with Canada. Most of those border states, Washington, Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, lean or vote Democrat. Those are exactly the states whose National Guard units, ports, railheads, and air bases you would need as springboards for an invasion. Their governors and legislatures would be under huge pressure to refuse, delay, or openly resist. On top of that, a big share of active duty troops are based in blue or swing states like California and Virginia. You would be asking soldiers from those communities to fight a deeply unpopular war against a neighbor most Americans still see as an ally. That is a recipe not just for protests, but for a serious constitutional and civil military crisis. So, to answer the question of October's community post, could Canada and its allies defend Canada from the US? In the early phase, probably not. The US has air, naval, and land supremacy, plus a massive surge capability. An initial occupation of the southern parts of Canada would be likely. However, when it comes to consolidation and occupation, the advantage sits squarely with the defender. Geography, local resistance, economic interdependence, and political fallout. The likely operational reality is grim for an attacker: quick initial wins, followed by a slow, costly occupation that drains resources, destroys alliances, and damages the attacker's own economy, political stability, and global standing. In short, it's more likely that there's going to be an American Civil War than an American invasion of Canada. And, in case it needs to be reiterated, Canada is widely liked by its allies, across the Pacific, the Commonwealth, and Europe alike. Together, that's well over 700 million people, with armed forces that, even if only some of them stood up to Trump, would stretch American focus far beyond Canada. I think that deep down, even the wildest MAGA strategist knows this. In case you haven't seen it yet, last week's episode where we posed the same question for Greenland is linked below in the description. As always, I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and if you want to suggest a topic for November's community video, we've put up a new community voting post in the community tab, so get voting and we'll see what we'll cover next month.
Yeah, I'm not sure anymore. It's too cold down there. I think your mic is cut off. Some people.
Sorry, yeah. So just that was military rated as the channel. Cosmo was barking. That's why I muted the mic. And I think everybody can hear me now. So I muted it because of the enthusiastic hound of the Baskerville. And we have French Donald Trump back, and that is my question. French Donald Trump, are you sure after watching that you still want to invade Canuckistan to get rid of all of us Canuckistanian commies?
Well, we're gonna have to. Well, it's too cold down there. We're probably gonna have to, I don't know, get rid of the cold and, I don't know, make war with weathers. So because we want some hot sun around here, and I mean, I want a Canadian Florida probably.
Yeah, get the chemtrail jets up there to control the weather and bring a little of that Florida sunshine to Canuckistan in January. I hope you do it soon because there's a big storm brewing here in Ontario, a huge one actually.
We got the technology. Here. We got the technology also. I mean, look, DARPA, HARPA, whatever you want to call Pa, that's what it is, Pa.
Yeah. I just know that I've already had to clear the driveway a couple of times this week. If that doesn't tell you that we're already a prickly porcupine that you don't want to invade, tonight's weather and tomorrow's accumulation of snow should also tell you that we are very icy porcupine that you don't want to invade because the climate is at times not very hospitable, and we're pretty far south here.
And the moose.
And the
Don't
moose.
forget the moose.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to be attacked by a moose. Stay away. Stay on your side of the boat. You don't want to mess with the moose up here. The mooses. Okay, so let's fire up AI and see what we get out of AI.
Mine is all fire up.
There are a bunch of videos online. You can go watch these scenarios, and I have been surprised to see that the general consensus is that if the U.S. invades Canada, they're going to find a very prickly, icy porcupine that will resist. Because I guess Canadians, when it comes right down to it, are going to be more patriotic than the Americanos anticipate. So, okay, I'm going to bring up Twitter over here. We use Grok.
I got Grok too.
You got Grok?
Do you want me? Yeah, you want me to use something else?
You have another one, don't you? Don't you use Google?
Many others.
Yeah, use one of the other ones. We'll compare. We'll ask them both the same questions. And holy shit. I'm talking about a civil war. Look at this, man. I'm just going to show you a video here. Is there audio with this? This is crazy shit. Oh my God. Yeah, I have to run it here. Again, I have to take you off screen to show you this. This just popped up. This is in Minnesota. And this is just in a neighborhood, okay? I don't have this going on here in my town.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You live in the neighborhood? Yep, this is my block, this is my area. I don't go into other people's neighborhoods and try and intimidate them. I protect my people.
Are you giving out your name?
No, I'm okay with that. Our neighborhood's showing up.
You guys had a lot of people out here, right?
At least 30 or more.
Yeah.
40 or 50.
That's pretty good for a quick turnout.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that. I do not like that. I don't care if you like guns. I don't like it. That's gonna result in somebody getting really seriously hurt. And talking about a prickly, icy porcupine, I'm a city slicker, Dragon. But being a true Canuckstanian, I was talking to my dad about this actually before we get into grok. Just near here, there's a fish and game club. When I was a kid, my dad was the president of the Fish and Game Club. I talked about him chopping the heads ducks off over there just to give people a little dose of actual reality. But here's another little taste of reality, right? I got a taste of reality when I was, I don't know how old I was at the time, and I shouldn't maybe speak out of school. This is a long time ago, so I think anyway, I won't tell you all the details because I don't know what the gun laws were back then. But do you know how old I was when I first fired a gun? I'd be like, it's probably only about 8 or 9 years old. And my dad was a hunter, right? And had guns back then. And so I was introduced to shooting when I was that young. And so there is that. Like, I don't own guns. I have no interest in guns. I have no interest in hunting, but I know how to shoot. And I think there are a lot of other Canuckstanians out there, just like that video said, that do know how to shoot. A lot of hunters, probably more guns out there than the Americanos think. They think that we've been defanged by being de-gunned. And that was another headline on the Toronto Sun newspaper today, talking about the government trying to take the guns back. But the reality is there's still a lot of guns out there. There's a lot of guns in Canuckstan. And I think that the assessment that we've seen on the potential invasion is probably pretty accurate. There could be some real resistance out there, and not to mention what goes on First Nations too. They're not going to be happy, and there's a lot of guns on First Nations lands as well.
Yeah, so, and they know how to fight, I think, or they do remember the old ways, if I can put it this way, politely.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Careful with that.
Okay, so do you have an AI thing up?
Yep.
Okay,
I'm all ready.
All right, let me get the Grok up. Which one do you have?
Copilot.
Okay, so I'm going to type in, and then you can type in your version of the same question to get two different answers.
Sure.
I'm going to say, how likely is it that the United States, under today's political and economic conditions, may invade Canada to make it the 51st state, either directly or as a consequence of separatist activities spilling over into 51st state activism. That's maybe a little involved for you, but Grok is thinking. You can type in whatever version of that you want, Dragon, and we'll see where it goes. Grok is thinking. I've given it a lot to think about. No.
Okay, so
you got an answer?
How likely the United States may invade Canada, either directly or by separatist movement, under the geopolitical tension of today. So we'll see what Copilot comes with. And still thinking. Short answer, extraordinarily unlikely, to the point that the expert described it as a political, irrational military, self-defeating, or economically catastrophic, and diplomatically impossible. But the fact that the idea is being discussed in media lately says something about the psychology of geopolitical tension, not about any real pathway to invasion.
Okay.
That's short answer.
And that was which AI engine? Google?
That's Copilot from Bing.
Okay. So the answer that I have from Grok is the likelihood of the United States invading Canada to annex it as the 51st state, either through a direct military operation or as an indirect outcome, is extremely low under current political and economic conditions as of January 2026. While there has been heightened rhetoric from the Trump administration, including threats of economic force or coercion and some fringe discussions tying into Canadian regional separatism, several structural, legal, and practical barriers make the scenario improbable. I'll break this down step by step, drawing on recent developments, okay? Well, U.S.-Canada political and economic context. The U.S. and Canada share the world's longest undefended border, deep economic integration via the USMCA trade agreement, which will soon be disintegrating, and mutual defense commitments through NATO and NORAD. An invasion would violate international law, which Trump doesn't care about, trigger NATO's Article 5, which Trump doesn't care about, and cause massive economic disruption. And NATO is going to break apart if he does anything in Greenland, and it looks like he is. Canada is the U.S.'s largest trading partner, with bilateral trade exceeding $1 trillion annually, and that is being now replaced with China. Analysts emphasize, and it doesn't have to be replaced, we can still have both if Trump smartens up. Analysts emphasize that any aggressive U.S. action would alienate allies, spike global energy prices, giving Canada's oil exports to the U.S., and risk domestic backlash in both countries. This is a very long answer, so I'll just summarize here. Direct invasion scenario. An outright military invasion is the least likely path, with probabilities estimated near 0% by defense experts and online discussions. I think that's probably sort of true. I don't see it as just like one day they come up here and invade. I think it's tied to the separatist movement. But here, military imbalance, but high cost. The U.S. could overwhelm Canada's forces quickly, but occupying would lead to a prolonged resistance. We saw that supply chain chaos, guerrilla warfare. We've talked about that. We heard about it in the video. Allied backlash, invading NATO would shatter the alliance. Domestic U.S. opposition, yep. Economic alternatives. Trump favors economic force like tariffs. That's right. He's using that as the weapon, not tanks, not fighter jets, and not bombs, at least at this point, to pressure concessions on trade, water, or resources rather than boots on the ground invasion. Social media chatter on X often treats the idea as a meme or exaggeration, but it's not. Indirect path via separatist activities. This is a more plausible, and this is where I think it would go, though still low likelihood, vector where U.S. influence amplifies Canadian internal divisions, potentially leading to piecemeal annexation or statehood activism. In fact, it's the separatist tactics that were used in Ukraine by Russia, and it's the same tactics that are now being employed by the United States in Greenland, and you're seeing that actually used in Canada as well. And Times New World now says NATO flexes stealth power. Denmark deploys F-35s to Arctic outposts. This is a news headline coming on my screen right now. So sorry, Grok, but the world and the news tonight suggests the risk of all of this is maybe more pronounced than you think. Key separatist movements. Alberta, support for independence has grown to 30 to 45% in polls, especially among younger voters, driven by federal energy policies and Trump effect fears, which I think our guest the other night, who was donating that crazy, weird, shadowy money, whatever that was, is trying to amplify through his appearances on this program. saying, all you boomers, it's your fault that the Gen Zers have nothing. A petition drive is underway. We know what's going on with the Alberta Separatist movement. And there you are. This is why you're here, Dragon, because you are our Quebec connection. And it says Quebec, the Parti Québécois, is poised to win the 2026 provincial election and hold a sovereignty referendum.
Mm-hmm.
We advocate direct ties with the U.S., but reject annexation, focusing on Quebec nationalism. I don't think, and this is my view from someone in Ontario, I don't think Quebec is the path to Canada becoming the 51st state or a U.S. invasion of any kind, or even Quebec becoming a 51st state. That is not what Trump is focused on. I don't think he cares because all you guys speak French up there. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's not in the ballpark yet, okay, if you look at, because I think there were some voting not so long ago, or a poll that been conducted, and people basically are like less likely to go to vote for a referendum and vote for a yes. So, that's unlikely on this part. So, yeah, I don't think we're soon to become like a 51st state.
Yeah. Overall likelihood of mitigating factors, quantitative estimate based on polls, markets, and analyses. I'd assess, this is Grok saying, I'd assess less than 1% for direct invasion and 5 to 10% for indirect annexation via separatism by 2030, not just 2026. Trump's term ends in 2029, limiting windows for escalation. What could change this? If U.S.-China tensions spike, and that could involve what's going on with Canada, the trade deal. Canada could be seen as a security liability, indeed. Prompting coercion, indeed. Conversely, diplomatic wins like Canada boosting defense spending to 2% GDP could de-escalate. Strange, isn't that? Isn't it strange that if we spend more on defense, well, maybe it's not so strange. And the U.S. backs off a bit. Recommendations for Canada, proactive steps, including strengthening unity, addressing Western alienation, diversifying trade, and countering disinformation. Oh, well, how do you do that? Well, that might involve a little bit of control over the internet, which, of course, people freak out about because nobody wants censorship, unless it's censorship applied, to the other guy.
Yeah.
But if you're pro 51st state or you're just a pro MAGA person, you're going to buy into the rhetoric coming out of the United States right now saying, oh, you're a bunch of communist bastards if you try to control anything on the internet. But that is what you have to do to some degree if you want to counter propaganda from a foreign adversary.
I will be pro free speech if you say what I say.
Well, yeah. So there's Grok on that point. Now, let's just take it to the next level. Because, here's what I'm going to show you something.
Sure.
Let me take this. Stop sharing that. See if I can find this for you. Okay. Do you like my musical interludes?
It's funny. Actually, I did ask the same question to Jiminy real quick, and it's unlikely that we'll be military invade, according to Jiminy. But economic coercion and Arctic cooperation might be the way that it's going to be basically conduct. Makes sense? Can make sense.
I'm going to take a little break, and we're going to come back on this. I'm looking for a clip that I think is very relevant to this. I hope I can find it because it sort of shows why my headspace is where it's at. Oh, you want to invest? You want to get in my headspace? No, you don't. It's crazy in there. Be right back.
Greetings, brave mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals. Defenders of individual rights and freedoms. Credible. Trusted. Grounded in reality. Maverick News. Maverick News. Defending free speech. Free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Too late. Too late. Too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
I'm still searching, so just give me a minute more. I think it's actually a pretty important clip if I can find it.
Brightleaf Innovations is excited to offer our newest investment opportunity. The Turn Easy Bed Storage Solution.
Turns with a touch, spins all the way around. Every little thing you need is easy to be found. No more clutter, no more mess on the floor. Just spin it, reach it, you don't search anymore. Turn easy bed, spin your world around. Storage made simple, the best you found. Shelves your way, keep the mess away. Charge it, store it, night or day. Custom shelves for your books or your tech. Cozy space for your treasures to protect. Built-in power when you need to recharge. Smart design that makes your bedroom feel large. Turn easy bed, spin your world around. Storage made simple, the best you found. Shelves your way, keep the mess away. Charge it, store it, night or day.
Designed and developed by Brightleaf Innovations, proudly Canadian and patent pending in North America. Turn Easy Bed transforms how you live.
To learn more about this innovative new product idea and exciting investment opportunity, call 519-784-0222 or visit brightleafinnovations.com.
Okay. I found the clip. I have to take you off screen again. Share this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so hopefully you can hear this. This is a separatist, two separatists sitting in a tree. Anyway, the statement made here I find alarming because they say that, see, if Alberta wants to separate, there's a path that can be followed in the Constitution because Canada's a very free country that way. And you are legally allowed to pursue that. But it's not as simple as just having one vote or one referendum. You have to go through a bunch of steps. And there's the Clarity Act that kicks in if this upcoming referendum is deemed to be somewhat successful. And there are a lot of technical things that they have to go through because it's not as simple as just one province deciding that they're going to just leave. All right. The requirements are quite high in the Constitution because there's so much at stake. It's not just like have a vote, get 50% plus one person, and then it's a done deal because everything in Canada is integrated. You have, provinces and relationships, and everybody shares in it. And even in Alberta itself, you need a much higher threshold than just 50% plus one. I won't get into all the technical nitty gritty, okay? But every country is like that. In the United States, there's basically no path to independence for legally for a state. They just don't allow it because that would be deemed to be treasonous. All right.
Yeah.
But here we allow it because we're pretty darn free, and they're even allowing these separatists to go down into the United States and meet with the U.S. State Department, which I don't agree with. I think that is not right, but it's legal at this point until they actually kind of rise up and become violent in some way, or other things can have to happen before that's deemed to be illegal. All right. Even this money like that the money, the slush fund, the $500 million. That's something that's being, I think, legitimately questioned. And it, I think, could undermine, well, it does undermine the integrity and the legality of even the upcoming referendum, because it's inserting foreign influence, and you're getting foreign influence up here. That, as far as I'm concerned, delegitimizes the result of whatever referendum they're getting, and the information warfare being brought to bear on this as well is skewing reality, and people are being sold ideas that I don't think are accurate. I'll come right out and say lies. Anyway, exactly. Your views may vary, okay, but Albertans, this is what. Go ahead, Dragon. Yeah,
because you opened a great point when you said about the Clarity Act. Because a lot of people on the chat last few days, I was looking at what people were speaking about referendum, and all the people were like, "Well, we just need like a 50+1." Vote. No, that doesn't work that way. The Clarity Act that was stated in 95, if my memory is correct, makes us that we need more than about 59% for having a clear majority of people voting for a certain decision before getting into it. And even there, you, like Rick said, there's a lot of hoops from that point where there's going to be many decision making before. Do we take those 60% as a majority, or is it good enough as a majority to say that, okay, we embark on that direction or not?
Yeah. What am I about to play for you? This clip? I think talk like this is incredibly dangerous, because what you're about to hear is a comment from somebody who doesn't care about the rules. This person does not give a damn. They don't intend to follow the rules. All right? Hang on a second. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Oh, I'm on the air, am I?
Every time you call, and we're this time of night, you're on the air, baby.
Well, I just want to know what exactly you're trying to pull there, Rick.
What are you trying to pull there, Rudy?
With all your bullshit.
Well, how about yours?
No, you got more bullshit than I do.
No, you got more. You got way more bullshit. You're the king of bullshit.
I speak the truth, Rick. That's the difference between you and me.
Right. Okay, sure. Why are you calling me?
Are you asking me to do an expose on you?
I didn't ask for you to do an expose on me.
Well, then that's what it's looking like there, Rick, because you're pulling out all kinds of bullshit about me. So I'm just popping the question to you. Do you want me to do an expose on you? Believe
me. Do you want to do an expose on me, Rudy?
Oh, I could if you want me to.
Yeah.
So basically, Rick, I mean, you're pumping out all kinds of bullshit. And if you want to keep it up, I will definitely do that, plus contact a lawyer on the rest of it. I mean, you want to keep going this direction, you be my guest, buddy. Okay? Because
I wasn't talking about you tonight.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
Okay? So you keep it up, and we will get really into this if you really want to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm just forewarning you. Like, I'm a nice guy, so that's what I do. So you want to keep this bullshit up, you carry on, and then you will find that I will.
What did I say? What did I say that's got your back up?
I haven't looked into it yet, Rick. Okay, I'm just forewarning you.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to keep pumping out bullshit, you better have your bullshit backed up with some proof. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I'm not going to stand around and allow you to pump out all this bullshit.
About what? Bullshit about what?
Calling me about the bullshit you're putting out.
What bullshit? Specifically, what are you talking about? You?
If I'm going to look into your bullshit, okay, you're going to waste my time, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Like you did on the air, you tried to call me a bullshitter. You weren't there, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you better.
This is your favorite word.
Careful water, okay? Because I will not hold back if you want to continue. You understand me?
Is this a threat?
No, do you understand me? It's a question. Do you understand me?
Rudy, you're a very hard man to understand.
Well, I'm just asking a simple question. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Not really. You're threatening to what? To do an expose on me.
If you want to continue with the bullshit, you carry on, and then we will take action on it.
Who's we? Okay, who's we, Rudy?
Now, you understand me now?
Who's we, and who's going to take action on me?
Don't worry about it, Rick. I'm just telling you, forewarning you, because I'm sick and tired of your bullshit. So end it now and drop it.
And okay? What am I supposed? What specifically is it you would like me to drop, Rudy?
I don't know. I haven't looked at your shit. I mean, I'm not going to waste.
Well, if you don't know what it is that you want me to drop, how do you know it's bullshit?
I don't want to waste my time with your shit. But if you want me to, you know what I mean? I'm just telling you to stop your bullshit. And if you don't, I'm going to take action.
What?
Okay,
what specific? Like, you want me to stop talking about you or this crazy ostrich farm, or what?
Stop your bullshit. Period.
My bull. You want me to? You want me? What? You want me to? You want me? You're trying. You want me to shut down my show? You want me to shut down the? What is it you want me to? You have to be specific, Rudy, to tell me what it is you want me to stop talking about.
There's nothing on him. There's nothing that he said.
Okay.
I don't.
So just stop your bullshit, whatever it is.
Why can't people just get along?
And I'm carrying on with what I do. You carry on with what you do.
Well, I like the lady in. I like that lady in the back. Why can't we all just get along, Rudy?
I have a lot of people. Okay.
A lot of.
So you stop your bullshit.
Just get along.
Okay?
Get along.
This is not about ostriches. It's not about people and their problems.
Okay.
Come on,
so
you guys.
I'm getting it from another side that you're creating bullshit, and I want you to stop.
I want you to stop your bullshit too. I'll tell you what. I'll stop my bullshit, whatever that is. If you tell me what it is, if you stop your bullshit, whatever that is. And then we'll have like how about this? How about we have a negotiated settlement and we'll have a bullshit-free zone.
There you go.
We can meet in the middle, and I don't have to bring my rubber boots or my hip waders. And we can then have a civil discussion. What?
Bullshit or
this is about ostriches. It's not about people.
It's about ostriches.
It's not about that. You're talking about my name and me.
It doesn't matter what went on at the farm. It's about the ostriches and what went down. It's not about people's kerfuffle.
Yeah.
So you want me to? So you want me to stop talking about the ostriches? Is that you have to be telling me?
Oh my goodness! Please.
Well, tell me what you want me to stop talking about.
I'm making it very clear.
No, you're not.
You stop reading my name and you stop talking about me and any of your bullshit.
You're the one who called the show the other night. I didn't call you, and you're calling again now.
I asked you for specific information. I didn't call you to spread bullshit. I asked you for some specific information.
No, you called to promote your program on my show, to tell people about the big expose on the bird farm that you were going to do that turned out to be a big nothing burger. You didn't expose anything. Yeah. So what was it that you exposed on your program that was so revelatory?
Understand?
What?
That's what I'm going to tell you. Okay. I hear any more bullshit, and you're going to accept the consequences. You understand?
Ooh. Who's your lawyer, Rudy? Who you got?
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry.
You want me to send you the name of mine?
I'm telling you right now, firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Period. Okay? That's enough.
What did I say that would warrant a lawsuit?
I'm giving you a warning, and I'm done.
You're giving you so it's a threat.
It's not a threat. I'm telling you straight hand. Okay? You stop your bullshit. Period.
Uh-huh.
End of story.
Yeah, Rudy, that's an all-encompassing descriptive word that could apply to anything. What specifically is it you want me to do or not do?
You're spreading bullshit from my understanding. People are telling me that.
What does that mean?
Just like when I phoned in, you said to me that I was full of shit. And you're full of shit because you weren't there. Okay? You're spreading bullshit. Bullshit is bullshit. Okay?
Yeah.
And I don't take time. So you want to carry this on, this bullshit? Okay? then accept the consequences.
I never wanted to ever talk about this stupid ostrich story to begin with, man.
You understand me? Period.
So I have to stop my bullshit, or you're gonna sue me.
You stop your bullshit there.
Stop my bullshit.
You stop the bullshit.
This is about the CFI. It's not about people.
Get on track about the corrupt government and the corrupt CFIA and all of that shit. I don't really give a fuck. But to me personally, you want to take a personal attack about me, then there you go.
I'll tell you what, Rudy. I'm live on the air right now. Apparently. What's that?
I'm telling you point blank.
Okay.
Stop it. Okay.
Stop it.
There's bullshit and there's truth. I speak truth. You speak bullshit. Okay.
Okay. All right.
And I'm telling you, crap all you want.
It's funny.
Take it any way you want. I'm giving you some advice. Okay. When you're bringing my name into it and you're talking bullshit, then I'm telling you right now, stop the bullshit. Period.
Okay. Okay, boy.
I do find it very funny.
No, it is. It's funny the way you're saying it, and everybody here loves you, and they love the way you say that word. Actually, it's like nobody says that word better than you. I have to say, I love it.
You're doing a personal attack, okay? And I'm telling you to stop.
It's not a personal attack. Actually, it was. You don't understand that it was entirely done out of love.
And I'm telling you to stop it because it's bullshit.
Well, I think it might be the other way around, Rudy.
No,
I think that you know the truth. I brought the receipts, and you
made a statement on air. Okay.
Yeah.
That I was paid by the farm to go to the farm.
And then you denied it, and I said whatever.
No. Listen to me. Listen to me very closely.
Yeah.
That was a lie.
Did you receive funds? How did you pay for your gas?
Listen to me. I never got paid by the farm to go there. I can show my bank records, everything.
Okay. Cough them up.
There,
let's take a look.
Said was a total fucking lie.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. Please. Let's have full financial disclosure from Rudy Bruce to see what his bank records look like.
Now, you carry on with this bullshit. I've got bank records to prove. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to persist on slandering me, okay, you're going to accept the consequence. You understand me? I'm not fucking with you. Okay? I'm making it very clear. Okay? If you want to slander me, then accept the consequences, buddy. Okay? Now, I'm asking you politely to stop your shit. Understand? You understand me? I'm not fucking taking this as a fucking joke.
So you're still very much on side with the farm,
I'm telling you point blank.
Yeah.
To quit your fucking bullshit. Period.
Oh, what happened to Rudy? I lost him. Hang on a second. I didn't get to say what I wanted to say to Rudy because I had something I would offer him.
I'll get some coffee real quick.
Okay.
Be right back, guys.
I have something I need to suggest.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I was going to suggest. I know you wanted to talk.
But you want to carry on. You want to carry on.
No,
this little shit.
I want to make an offer to you. I know that.
Oh, you want to make an offer?
I do. Yeah, I do.
I don't accept that shit.
No.
I'm not a guy to be bought off.
I'm not buying you. I'm gonna suggest something. All right, that you might.
Suggest. Okay, that's a little different than trying to buy me.
I'm not trying. Fuck. I'm not trying to buy you. I can't afford you, Rudy. I couldn't afford you. I got my own financial problems here, man. I got bills to pay. I don't buy people. And I've never ever paid for a story. So here's the thing. I know you wanted to talk about Bill S-206, right?
Pardon me?
You said before when you called me a couple of weeks ago that you wanted to talk about Bill S206.
S206, yeah.
Yeah. So let's do that. Why don't you call in, or what you can join me tomorrow night. I've been wanting to talk to you about that because I know that's an important issue, and we had discussed it previously. So come on over and we'll have you can present your stuff on Bill S206 tomorrow, because I know that there are a number of people talking about it. What's that?
I don't need you to present anything.
You said you wanted to discuss it and do it.
I have my own following. I have my own broadcast. I don't need you to present anything.
I just thought you wanted to engage in discussion and discourse, and you were encouraging me to explore that issue too, because there's more going on than just the ostrich farm. You said you wanted to do it, so I'm like, let's do it tomorrow night. Because I've been going to call you and say, let's get together and do that. What's that?
No, you fucked yourself. Okay, you on your show called me a liar and everything else. Okay, you can go fuck yourself. Okay, you don't call me a fucking liar. You don't embarrass me in front of the public like you did. Okay, now you can go fuck yourself. And if I hear any more bullshit out of your show, trust me, there's going to be consequences, and that's why I called you. Okay, because I'm tired of people calling me about you and your show, about me.
I think people are calling you about me.
I'm telling you point blank. Okay, any more bullshit out of you, okay, regarding me, okay, then you've got it coming. Okay, you understand me?
Interesting.
But make it very clear.
Okay. Well, I haven't slandered you, and I'd like. Okay, he hung up again. Oh, he's back.
Oh my God.
How was that?
I don't know what to say except what a number.
I'm going to scroll down and see what's going on in the chat. As the Maverick world turns. That's from CBC Brown in the chat. Post me on Rudy Bruce. Dragon. Post me on, it says, Lindy, nothing much. Rudy wants more clicks. Yeah.
Probably drunk too.
What else is going on? Pura Vida CR1 says, I think Rudy is drunk. Lynn, I shouldn't even put these names up because he might sue everybody. Somebody else says he usually is. That's not me, Rudy. I didn't say that. Although I have seen him take a sip or two on camera from time to time, which is apparently why I get kicked off the farm, or so he says. Rudy doesn't know much details about anything, just the talking points. He repeats, yeah.
There's a bit of that.
We were not talking about you. No, we weren't, but he's made the show about him. Somebody else says, what the hell is Rudy drinking tonight? Oh, my. That was
one thing for sure, I don't want any of it. I'll let him have
what a
that.
Weird show we have here. Once, just a strange cast of characters.
Rick, it's a staple with me. It always get weird and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It goes with the guy.
Yeah. Holy wow. What did he say about Rudy? Apparently, I just spread a lot of, you know what? He wouldn't really say what it was that I said that got him so upset. Except I touched a nerve, apparently. Let's go. Who's blinging me here? Last people to... Okay. Let me see what's coming in here.
I know I'm not going to play guitar tonight, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I know where it's coming from.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's what it is. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Since we are on a wargaming kind of thing, why don't you ask Grok, how does Grok think the possibility of that pincher?
Sure. Go ahead and ask Grok the question, see what we get.
Oh, you want me to ask Grok?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with Grok. And I'll even go with a vocal situation this time, just because. Hope you guys gonna hear it.
Yeah.
So, Grok, I'm with my Maverick friends, and we are live on TV and on everywhere on the web. So please be PG-13. But so let's put it this way: how would you agree with, or how would you think about Canada being invaded by the U.S. under a pincher, say, move once the U.S. get Greenland under its grip?
And the answer is...
Whoa, that's a wild hypothetical. Look, invading Canada? Absolutely not. I'd never agree with that. We're talking about our closest ally, best neighbor, shared border, family ties, trade partners. It's insane. And a pincer move with Greenland? Even if the US somehow got Greenland, which right now is just threats and tariffs drama, not reality. Geographically, launching from there to squeeze Canada makes zero sense. Arctic ice, huge distances, brutal logistics. It'd be a military nightmare, wreck alliances like NATO, tank the economy, and spark global backlash. Total fiction, man. Peace and poutine forever, eh? What's got you guys thinking this on live TV?
Actually, I just wanted to have a thought experiment. But you think that we will win with poutine?
Well, if victory comes laced with gravy, peas, and crispy fries, then yes. Every war starts with a ceasefire dinner. Imagine the headlines. Enemy lines crumble before the second helping. But honestly, I'd rather share the plate than fight over it.
Yeah. Thanks.
Do you ever see the Star Trek episode where the computer had a sexy voice and was flirting with Captain Kirk?
Long time ago, yes. Oh my God, you remind me so much.
That was funny.
I'm a tricky, so yeah, I do a little bit remember that.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Where are we going with that?
Well, I was going to play that clip, but time is marching on here, and we were interrupted by Rudy. Bottom line is, some people just have decided that all you need, some of these people behind the separatist movement, all you need is 50, basically the will of the people, and some sort of a vote. And once you have that, they think that you can then separate, because what they're really saying, and then they go on and say, yeah, we don't care. We're not asking. We're just leaving. Well, it's not that simple, unless, of course, you have another country like the United States backing you up. And they've already said that if the U.S. MAGA, they've indicated, at least the separatists say that the U.S. has indicated that they would support Alberta as a sovereign state, an independent state, if they get a vote. That's the danger right there. That could spark a civil war. That's why I'm so worried about that kind of talk, because that can lead to violence, because that doesn't follow the rules, you see. Because the scenario that I see unfolding, that I think some people would like to happen, which may or may not, but it's one possibility, is that vote happens, this first vote that comes up, and if they get 50, even 50% plus one person, they'll say, that's it, we're leaving. And the federal government will step in and say, no, that's just step one. You've got to, you've got these other steps through our Constitution that you have to abide by, because we have rules. And you can still continue on this path, but you have to follow the proper procedure. At which point, they'll go to the U.S. and they'll ask for U.S. intervention and support. And then things could get messy, very, very messy. And there'll be an information campaign to convince people that the evil Canadian government, the communist dictator Mark Carney, is holding the province of Alberta hostage or something, and not honoring the vote. And the process, the pathway to independence is complicated. It isn't just one vote, but the general public won't understand that. And in the court of public opinion, as they ramp up the rhetoric through Fox News and the independent streamers and the other people that are on that side of the aisle, they'll ramp that right up. And they'll say, we voted, we get to go. We voted, we get to go. It's simple. We have the will of the people. We voted. They have to honor the vote. Simple as that. But it isn't that simple. And then if you get the backing of the U.S. government, now you've got international recognition. Now that complicates things, and it puts a lot of pressure and tests not just the will of the Canadian government, but also the resilience of the Canadian Constitution itself.
Well, and, that's what I was trying to say a long time ago about, cognitive dissonance and all that.
Yeah.
Everything that you ingest today that you will believe tomorrow that is false. Mm-hmm. Like, we just need 51% to vote to win the vote, and here we go. No, that doesn't work this way. And all the people that's gonna think this way is gonna be pissed off. Sorry for the word. When shit's gonna hit the fan, and they'll be, well, we did win the vote, but they don't separate anymore because federal government would say, no, it's not a majority. It doesn't work this way, whatever. People will get angry, like you said. And I'm fearing that it might comes to a civil war or something like this. You'll see some violence somewhere.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is that we're actually talking about this tonight. And I never in my wildest dreams, even just a few years ago, would have thought that we'd ever be having a conversation like this. But here we are. That in itself should tell you that this is actually something that's quite real, because I would never even dream this stuff up.
No, me either.
So I think right now I'd say, yeah, AI is right in saying that the risk is low. Right now, sort of. But if this situation in Greenland continues to escalate and NATO starts to fall apart, like we're on a really bad path. So what happens in Greenland, I think, will be the predictor for what is possible here in Canada. And I pray for peace tonight.
Yeah, well, if you have Greenland being taken over, and that's just an assumption or a prediction, the way I see it, what might happen is that you're going to see some European country from NATO that will disband from the US, basically, or going to create with Canada, Greenland, whatnot, trying to defend Greenland, a certain alliance, a new NATO kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But the US and all those guys are going to be off of it because they're the new invaders. They're the new dictatorship, if you will. So that's going to be probably the one way to see if that's going to happen. Or, I mean, is it a good prediction? I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's the logic path, I think, that might happen if Greenland takes being taken over by the US. What do you think?
I just stand by what I said. I think that this is closer than people realize because Trump is obviously in a rush. Everything is in high gear. They're flooding the zone with everything they're doing. It scares the living daylights out of me, because I think it's going to potentially get out of hand and turn violent. You're seeing it in the streets in the United States right now. I think it is something that affects not just Canada. This is going to affect the United States. I think all those assessments are quite accurate in that way. And so I hope it doesn't come to that, man. Like, I can see all of this splitting people, splitting the United States up as people fight over what's going on, not just in the United States, but in Canada, like another wedge issue. And
you see, there's another thing I want to pull out, but you might probably be better on that one. If you look on X, and should I say the name? Oh, I'll say it. Mr. Sunshine Baby did post something yesterday or today. Basically, it's a picture of Canada, US, and you see the territory being in red, basically, and you see Alberta being part of the US and Minnesota, which is part of the line or the territory convergence, put back into Canadian. So basically, we'll trade Minnesota for Alberta, and we're good with that. One, it's hypocritical. Secondly, it's stupid as hell as an idea. So I'm sorry, but what's the logic behind that? I don't know, but you ain't gonna get better off with that. Right. You think that your country is gonna be better because Alberta is gonna be now US, and now you're gonna have a second amendment. You think that it's not gonna become what is going on in Minnesota or other state of the US and become chaos? I don't think so, my friend. It's gonna be worse.
Well, hang on just a sec. One more thing. Just before we sign off.
Hello.
You think you know what? Rudy, we love you here, man. You don't realize it, but we do.
Well, Rick,
so
I'm telling you honest to God, you don't slander my name.
Okay, look.
Okay.
Just you.
Hang on a minute.
It's okay, Rudy.
Hang on, I got too much.
Okay.
Okay, carry on. Be nice, you're grown men. Okay, what are you saying?
Yeah, I know. It just
I'm a backstander.
What? Couldn't hear her.
Go ahead.
Sorry, did you want to? I thought the lady wanted to say something, whoever that is in the background.
No. I'm about the birds. How that birds were killed. That's all.
Yeah, I know.
I'm letting you
People
say
are upset about the birds.
I'm an animal person. It just came to my attention. You were saying some more stuff, and I'm not going to stand for that.
We weren't talking about you at all tonight, Rudy. So just so you know, I wasn't talking about you tonight. Till you called in. What's that? Before. I did say that you had your expose, but I watched it and I just said that I didn't see anything in there. It was kind of I didn't see any new information at all. So I was like, that for an expose, I didn't see you bring any new information forward.
Did you watch Friday's show?
Fridays? That was the big expose night, right? Yeah. That's the one I went and reviewed. What, like, I don't know what was it that you brought forward that was?
You didn't watch the show.
I did. I didn't see anything new in there that hadn't been reported previously someplace.
So you really didn't pick up on the fact that there's a clique going on the farm.
A clique? Yeah.
Clique. Okay.
Yeah. I saw Angie on there. She brought the concerns of the residents forward, which she'd already done.
And cliques have destroyed movements. Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't notice it. You didn't pick that up.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
If people start forming cliques, doesn't it devastate what's really happening? That's not the point. The point is the corrupt government and the corrupt CFIA. Right. Okay. It's not about a clique. Okay. No. So there's certain people on the farm that started a clique, and that's what ended up getting me so-called kicked off the farm. You didn't notice that, right?
So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, what is out there is people are saying you got kicked off the farm because you got drunk on your live stream, and I think you said that the farm said it was damaging their reputation, and then you had people come on and kind of say that the farm had a crappy reputation to begin with, so there wasn't much of a reputation to harm. That's what I got from the broadcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is stabbing at one another.
So you didn't catch all that, or you did?
No, I watched the whole thing.
Okay, so the point of the matter was there was no real reason for kicking me off the farm inappropriate. And
Okay.
that's what they did because of this clique. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. Very simple shit.
First of all, you don't air people's, he has a drinking problem. You don't air that kind of stuff
I don't have a drinking problem.
No, but
That's
they put it online. They put it out there. Well, it's not nice.
Yeah.
Why do people want to stab at each other and hurt people? And that's hurting somebody's reputation, is it not?
Mm.
Somebody's reputation.
So the whole point of this is this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
When I phoned in you the day before the air
Yeah.
on Friday, and you called me a liar, you called me bullshit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You weren't there. I was, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not coming to tell you a bunch of bullshit. That's for number one, okay? My truck got sabotaged, period, okay? And I can prove it. I showed it on air. This is what a module looks like, and this is where it goes. And that has nothing to do with the coil at all. Zero.
Mm-hmm. So did you file a complaint with police and have that guy charged with vandalism?
Yes, and that cost me over $1,000 to fix.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right? Now, he's part of the little clique. Okay? This is how extensive this got. Okay? I pointed that out thoroughly.
See, my concern there was when you're accusing somebody and using a name and accusing them of committing a crime like vandalizing your vehicle, that is actually defamation unless you can prove it in a court of law. So I'm very concerned about you saying something like that on my program, because then I could be potentially implicated in the defamation.
If I wanted to go that way, I could very well easily do it. And she came out in the show to explain the debt that was still there in front of the Ostrich Farm. Okay? They don't have all that great a reputation. Okay? And that's what Karen was telling me about. They want to save their reputation. Well, what exactly is their reputation? I brought that all out in the show. Okay? So what I was talking about with you before that show was true. Okay? And you flat out called me a bullshit. Okay? You flat out called me fucking full of shit. Okay? You fucked up your own show. Okay? Because I don't bullshit.
Well, actually, Rudy, the show that we did like months ago, you and I talking about the farm, and we did 2 of them, and I brought all that information to you, and I showed you everything that was going on out there, and with the research into COVID and everything else, and you shared my concerns at the time, and then you went out to the farm and you changed your tune.
I stayed on the fence.
No, not that night.
I stayed on that fence.
No, in fact, you told your friend to get the hell out of there because you were so concerned that night. Actually, that wasn't sitting on the fence. You told him to get out on the program live.
I did get out because he's an elderly guy,
Mm-hmm.
an older guy.
Yeah.
And there was concerns. Fine and dandy. I
Yeah.
expressed those. That's not a problem. That wasn't the issue.
Yeah,
I
he's
went
very
in
much
there
so.
myself. I went in there myself.
Mm-hmm.
My own money. Okay? And I found out the truth myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And I excluded him because he's an older guy than me. Okay? And of course,
I don't know what the age is not really the issue. It's about the integrity of what the farm was doing and what the narrative was that was being spun up, which was also selective and therefore not providing, whole truth to people, and was misleading.
Is this about protection from the CFI, what is it about? It's not about people arguing between one another. It's about protection of the animal, CFI, what they did to these animals.
Exactly.
It's not about us arguing between one another. It's about the animals.
That's true. And
isn't that what we stand for? What Canada did and ignored? The Supreme Court does. CFI.
I don't think. No, see, that's not accurate. I could argue right there that you just lied, because there's no evidence to show that the CFIA violated any Supreme Court of Canada.
If we went around shooting birds like they did, excuse me.
Did you look into Omar?
We went around shooting birds. We'd be in fucking jail.
Did you look into Omar, the lawyer?
See, that's not accurate information.
No, did you look into Omar?
Did I look into Omar? Yes. I don't really want to talk about Omar here right now.
No, you don't want to talk about it. But I looked into Omar.
Okay, what do you want to say about Omar?
So you're sticking up for the CFI? Okay.
No, I'm just trying to I'm about, getting to the truth. I'm not sticking up for either side. Just for the people.
Omar was a shit lawyer. Okay. I talked to an experienced lawyer that had won a case against the CFIA, and she said, "You can quote me, that case was botched." Okay. So, what the fuck is going on here? Okay, that's the big question. Okay, so they wanted me off the farm because they want to protect their reputation. What's the reputation? Well, they owe a shitload of money to a bunch of creditors or debtors. Okay, creditors, debtors, however you want to look at it. What's exactly their reputation? Okay, if you followed the show I did on Friday, it explains that. Okay, so there's a lot of shit going on here. All right, granted. The point of the matter, okay, what the CFIA did was not acceptable. What the government's doing is not acceptable. And that is the primary target, nothing else.
Well,
okay. So, where's your point? You want to come after me personally?
No, not really.
Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me?
No, I'm not bullshitting you.
Okay. We're not condemning
the farm.
Fucking show.
We're sticking up for the birds and what else.
The birds are dead.
I'm trying to educate Canadians on the fact we have a corrupt government and what we should think about it.
Well, that's been, it doesn't matter what goes on out there, Rudy. That's always your position, is that it's always the government corrupt. Do you want to join? What's your position? Because tonight we're talking about the 51st state stuff. So do you want to join? Should Canada join and be the 51st state?
No. I'm telling you personally.
No.
You stop your shit out of me. That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Yeah.
You have no call to do that shit. Okay?
So you're for the farm, but you don't think the CFI did anything wrong with the
I didn't
birds?
say that.
Yeah,
That's not what I said.
He even made a statement that they had a ammunition that blew their heads off.
Yeah.
That's not true.
No.
That's not true.
No.
So, get your facts straight. Okay?
They didn't blow their heads off. Why were the birds shot in the morning?
1,000 fucking rounds of 22.
Why? And they used the wrong
Actually, I was talking tonight about the first time when I was a kid, I learned how to shoot. And you know what I learned to shoot with, Rudy? A 22. So I know a little bit about guns. I'm not an expert. I don't own guns, don't want guns, not really interested in them. But when I was a kid, I learned how to shoot. I was talking to my dad about it today, just coincidentally. So do you remember when you taught me how to shoot with that 22? That was a long time ago, man. Sorry. And yeah, I don't think anybody'd be using a 22 to shoot those birds, but yeah.
So is that inhumane or what?
No, maybe just if they had to get up close, they might use a low, caliber like that. But no, they might have used a few different calibers. But no, that's not what is likely happened. That's highly unlikely that happened. And the CFIA has not stated, just for accuracy, the CFIA has not stated what types of ammunition were used there that day. They haven't made that public. Yeah, that's what happens when you kill a bunch of animals. It's called a slaughter or a slaughterhouse or an abattoir.
How powerful they are. 1,000 rounds? Are you fucking kidding me? That's what was heard over that night. 1,000.
Well, that's what the some people who you can say things, but if you got to show me proof of that. I don't know. It could well be 1,000 rounds. You had over 300 birds. They're shooting from a distance. I could be 1,000.
They shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. I'm estimating 1,000. We're supposed to take them in, cover their heads, sedate them, and then the CFIA agent said that was inhumane. Okay, come on. There's nothing inhumane about what they did. I'm not going to condone what the farm did to me personally. Okay, there's a lot of shit going on here. Okay, so I reported it and I said it, and there it is. Okay, I'm not lying. Okay, and you on your show said this bullshit that I'm supposed to be a liar and I'm this and that. Okay, are you kidding me? Okay, I've been doing this 10 years, Rick. Okay, and you want to call me a liar? You want to say that the farm paid me to be there? That's bullshit. Okay?
Well, you can, and you can dispute that or deny it, and if that's what your response is, that's what your response is. So I'll just let that stand. That's it. You say you didn't get paid, so I'll just let it stand.
Exactly, I didn't get paid. Okay, you want to call me a psyop to the farm? You want to add to the bullshit? I'm not adding to any bullshit. Okay, my truth is the truth. Okay, and if you can't accept that, then your show has got a problem. Okay, plain and simple. All right, because I'm not going to stand for bullshit. I never do and never will. Okay. Period.
You're still out there, eh? In BC.
My what?
You're still out there, but off the farm, but not too far from the farm out and around Edgewood. I guess you're still there.
Now I'm in Vernon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still in British Columbia.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Everything all right?
I'm fine.
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah. You feeling okay after your operation?
Yeah. Well, I still got a little bit of a problem here and there, but I'm going to look after it.
Good.
I'm still alive.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, you're lucky.
I send all my love to Rudy.
Ian Dragon says he sends all his love to you.
Perfect.
He's on the program with me right now.
Just be nice to one another. Like, I'm just saying, Rick, come on. That's all. Come on. Okay? Yeah. You seem like a nice person. So
Well, I try to be. I try to be.
Yeah. Well, I speak truth. I don't speak bullshit. So let's get on the right track and let's get on that. Okay?
Well, let's talk about Bill S-206 on another program, like you wanted to before.
Okay.
Cool. We can do that. Okay.
I'll give it some thought. I'll give it a call. Love in your heart.
All right, man.
Okay.
We just from me on behalf of all the Mavericks, we love you.
Good. That's nice.
Stay safe.
Yeah, that's nice.
Glad you're on the mend. Yeah. And we'll do this again in a more positive way. Maybe we'll do the S-206 issue and have a discussion. Okay.
Okay.
All right, my man. Good night, Rudy.
Okay.
All right. And whoever that is with you, love you too. I don't know who that is in the background. What's that?
Night.
Night.
Love in your heart.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're Mavericks too. Talk to you guys later.
Okay.
See you. Bye.
Okay.
Happy ending.
Happy ending. Oh my.
Oh my.
What a program.
Yeah, I know. It comes with the weird guy from Montreal. Every time I comes around, weird stuff happens on Maverick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's right.
I'm sorry, guys.
See, well, you're just like me. I kind of attract entertaining content. So
we attract misfit of all kind because we have a good heart and we listen to everyone and we try to agree or disagree.
Yes, sir. That's right. So tonight, to take us out, we got some AI feedback on this, but I think, you got a good handle now, folks, on what the experts and AI are saying about the U.S. maybe invading Canada. It seems to be, at least to some degree, a possible threat. But if it were to happen, like so many, anytime there's, any kind of a war, right? It never goes as smoothly as we are told it will go. There's always complications. Oh, it'll be over in a few days or maybe even a few hours. And the unintended consequences result in these things dragging on in one way or another for a long time. And even down in Venezuela, you mark my words, over time, there will be resistance within Venezuela as those U.S. oil companies go down in there because of the way Trump has conducted the U.S. affairs there. People are going to push back if those U.S. companies go in and start setting up shop. Some people are not going to like it. And there will be, I'm sorry to say, bad things are going to happen. And you see similar things here. Like I did not expect that result, but you can see it if that comes to pass here with any kind of U.S. military intervention.
Mm-hmm. No, and I will be honest with you. I would probably be not suspecting any economic sanction or whatnot. That would be probably the better way. Like the AI actually said, it's probably more likely to be like an economic war kind of thing that is going to happen. So basically make you bend the knee by, well, shutting your economy in certain ways. So
yeah, so many wars have been started by having foreign governments support separatist movements.
Mm-hmm.
Many, many wars. And when I see U.S. influence coming to bear on the separatist movements in Canada, I get very, very worried because I see how easily it can get out of control. And I love all you guys out in Alberta too, and I don't want anybody getting hurt. And I also think that Canadians of all stripes should be the ones who decide our destiny, and that we should be doing that free of any foreign interference, whether it's from China, Russia, or the United States. So that's where I stand on it. And just pray for peace. That's all I can say. What do you want to end the program on tonight, Dragon? I've got, you get to choose the extra song tonight. You can have Let the Sunshine In as a message to Rudy of love, or you can have Trump Traders, since we're talking about some people who would like to break the country up and join the United States and are pro-Trumpers, or we could have Donnie Destructo.
So much good choice, but I'll go with Donnie Destructo.
You got it, my friend. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Donnie Destructo. See you all back here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. On the flip side. Ooh. Oh, the hard drive has to catch up. Hang on, we're going to get there. There we go. Ciao for now, brown cow.
He's got nuclear subs. He's got nuclear planes. He's Donnie Destructo. He's gone insane. Rattling sabers. Barking
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.